Chapter 1878. Whoosh. Liu Feng revealed his sword. He faced the martial Grand Master's provocation head-on. Oh? Very well. Since you want to end things for Li Yulong, I'll give you the chance. However, life and death are determined by fate. I won't show mercy. The martial Grand Master had come with the intention to kill. Since Li Yulong did not show up, he could only target the person before him. Liu Feng did not respond. That was how it was on the battlefield. What was the point of talking? Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The sword chi drifted as Liu Feng dashed toward the martial Grand Master. Ha! The martial Grand Master chuckled, not taking it seriously. Clang! He stretched out his arm and blocked the sword before him. Huh! The crowd below the arena was shocked. They did not expect a martial Grand Master to use his flesh and blood to block his opponent's sword. What kind of powerful body tempering might was this? Naturally, it was child's play to Yi Chen. When his ancient god body was cultivated to a certain level, even a strand of his hair could kill without leaving a trace. The martial Grand Master is too powerful. I'm afraid his body cultivation is no weaker than origin energy cultivation. I heard that the martial Grand Master specializes in body cultivation. His foundation is unfathomable, and his body is stronger than ordinary sabers and swords. I didn't expect him to fight the spiritual weapon sword in Liu Feng's hand. Clearly, he has improved. While the crowd was in awe, Liu Feng was furious. He attacked again. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The sword chi was like the wind, extremely sharp. However, the martial Grand Master blocked it with his arm. Clang clang clang. The sword chi only left some marks on the martial Grand Master's arm, but it could not hurt his bones and muscles. Liu Feng, what do you think? The martial Grand Master asked proudly. Your body cultivation is indeed powerful, but do you really think you've won? Oh? It seems like you're not convinced. Come at me then. Use your most powerful attack and let me try. The martial Grand Master looked excited. He wanted to try his opponent's most powerful attack to see if his body refining barrier could block it. Since he suggested it, he naturally thought that it would not be a problem. Meanwhile, Liu Feng looked confident. He held the spiritual sword in his hand and relaxed his body. Sword chi travels in all directions, meridians like a long river. Sword chi rushes 10,000 li, body like a mountain peak. Suddenly, Liu Feng started chanting the Li clan's strongest sword chi mental cultivation method. This attracted the attention of the martial Grand Master. He looked coldly at Liu Feng, trying to see through her thoughts. Sword chi manual? Ha, so what? You think you can improve your sword chi by just chanting a few incantations? The martial Grand Masters did not believe this and attacked. Dong, dong, dong. His footsteps could shake the earth and shatter mountains. His body was like a small mountain, and the speed at which he charged was not slow at all. With such a powerful impact, he could kill his enemies with just a single charge. Sword chi travels in all directions, meridians like a long river. Sword chi rushes 10,000 li, body like a mountain peak. As for Liu Feng, she was not afraid at all. She was still doing her own thing. Suddenly, just as the martial Grand Master was about to reach Liu Feng, he opened his eyes. Sword chi everywhere. It was the same sword technique as before. So. Instantly, the sword chi charged out. Ha ha ha, how can the same sword chi injure me? The martial Grand Master laughed wildly. He did not expect that Liu Feng was just putting on an act. Chi. But when the sword chi struck his body, the situation was completely different. He was actually injured. D. Fresh blood dripped down, and the description of the martial Grand Master completely disappeared. He looked coldly at Liu Feng behind him, feeling shocked and bewildered. The sword chi this time was different in nature from the previous time. He could feel its super penetrative ability, and it had completely destroyed his body's defense. How is this possible? he asked himself in his heart. What happened to Li Yufeng? Could it be that chanting the incantations could really change the nature of the sword qi? He did not believe it. He would not believe such a stupid conclusion. But how did Li Yufeng do it? The same sword technique had a completely different might. When such a scene appeared, those who were optimistic about the martial Grand Master changed sides and started to bet on Li Yufeng. Ha ha ha! In the Li clan's camp, many clan elders burst into laughter. Yufeng's sword art has indeed been cultivated to perfection. We can't even catch up. That's right. This penetrative sword intent is the essence of the sword art. It is specially used to deal with the indestructible body. It is indeed effective now. Let's see Yufeng win. The three clan elders chatted with each other in a relaxed manner. However, Li Su's expression was still very solemn. He was not as relaxed as the three elders. Although Li Yufeng's sword qi injured the martial Grand Master, it was just the beginning. The martial Grand Master only suffered minor injuries, and it had almost no effect on his combat strength. This was just a boost to Li Yufeng's morale. Brat, you have talent. But if this is all you have, you still can't defeat me. After speaking, the martial Grand Master reunited again. This time, his entire body was suffused with a ray of light. Furthermore, his body was covered with a layer of hard armor. Sword qi everywhere! Li Yufeng released the penetrative sword qi again. Swish, swish, swish. Clang, clang, clang. However, the situation was completely different this time. Even if the penetrative sword qi struck the hard armor, it had no effect. Ah! The Li clan members stared with their eyes wide open. They didn't believe that the penetrative sword technique passed down by their ancestors was actually unable to break the martial Grand Master's diamond body? What's going on? Impossible. The three elders looked at each other and revealed expressions of disbelief. At this moment Li Su said, "This martial Grand Master isn't such a simple figure. He has already seen through the essence of Yufeng's sword qi technique. Now that he's covered in hard armor, it would be difficult to injure him, let alone defeat him." Hearing the patriarch say this, the Li clan members couldn't get excited. At this moment, Li Yufeng fell into a disadvantageous position once again. Martial fist, earth-shaking annihilation. The martial Grand Master's fist struck the ground with a loud bang. Rumble! Kacha, kacha, kacha! The ground shattered unceasingly, and the rocks shattered. Then, they were all broken through by the martial Grand Master. Swish, swish, swish. Subsequently, these rocks that were thrown through the air attacked Li Yufeng one after another. Li Yufeng couldn't dodge in time, and was instantly heavily injured. Dong, dong, dong. Pooh! Countless rocks were like large bullets as they struck Li Yufeng, causing him unbearable pain. Ha ha ha, your penetrative sword technique is very powerful, but before the diamond body, it's still not enough. Good, good, good! The martial Grand Master is invincible. Instantly, the people of the Tianyuan dojo rejoiced. Finally, they could straighten their backs. Chapter 1879. When faced with such a situation, the Li clan members all revealed worried expressions. Yufeng, can you still get up? An elder from the clan asked. Yes. Li Yufeng flew up and headed straight for the martial Grand Master. Ha ha ha, don't blame this old man if anything goes wrong. The martial Grand Master was very clear that Li Yufeng's meridians were in chaos after being struck by the earth-shaking massacre. His bones and tendons were shattered, and he had already lost his combat prowess. If he continued to fight, he would be seeking death. Kill! Li Yufeng swore to fight to the death for her martial Dao dignity. Clang, clang, clang. However, every time the blade struck the armor, it was useless. Clang. Suddenly, the martial Grand Master grabbed Li Yufeng's sword. Give up! The martial Grand Master shouted coldly and used his spiritual energy to counter-attack Li Yufeng. Ah! Li Yufeng was sent flying again. Sigh! Everyone sighed. It was obvious that Li Yufeng could not hold on any longer. The people who had bet on Li Yufeng immediately roared. They had lost again. That damned Li clan. Wasn't Li Yulong very capable before? Now he's actually like this? You're just a piece of trash that gets beaten up. How hateful. How sad. Everyone mocked Li Yufeng one after another. When these words entered Li Yufeng's ears, it was worse than death. Kill. Li Yufeng ignored the heavy injuries on her body and forcibly activated her spiritual energy to fight to the death. Seeing such a scene, the martial Grand Master had no other choice. In order to end the battle quickly, he could only be ruthless. Li Yufeng, don't blame me for this. The martial Grand Master stared straight ahead. Spiritual energy flowed through his armor and gathered on his fist. Double fist earth-shattering kill. Double the power, no one could stop it. Boom. The huge fist aura smashed into Li Yufeng, who blocked it with her sword. Kacha, kacha, kacha. Without the support of her own spiritual energy, even the spiritual sword was useless. The shattering of the sword also meant the shattering of Li Yufeng's life. A blood-curdling scream was heard, followed by silence. The scene was quiet. Everything was over. Boom. Li Yufeng's body heavily smashed into the ground, causing dust to fly everywhere. Yufeng. In the Li clan, Li Yufeng's father roared. He knew that his son was finished. He had shouted for him to stop many times before, but Li Yufeng's eyes were red from killing and her heart had long sunk into oblivion. How could she hear his voice? The people of the clan stopped him from going up on stage. After all, this was related to the fate of the clan. Once he angered the Fengshen sect, the situation would be even worse. Sigh, my condolences. Many elders of the Li clan spoke to Li Yufeng's father. Damn it. Father Li could only fly onto the stage and bring Li Yufeng's corpse down. Feng Wei went up and announced the result. Naturally, the martial Grand Master was the victor. Okay. The people of the Tianyuan dojo all cheered. Finally, a martial Grand Master had taken revenge for them. This Li Yufeng sure is strong-willed. What a pity. Yi Chen said. Taoist Yi, you single-handedly killed the 3 young masters of the City Lord Manor. At the same time, you also killed Shangguan Jinyun. The City Lord Manor is completely done for this time. The old ancestor said. The City Lord's mansion is full of treacherous villains. They brought this upon themselves. That's true. The old ancestor nodded. Next match, Lanyue Workshop vs. Shengshe Dojo. In the next 2 matches, Lanyue Workshop vs. Shengshe Dojo and the Fengshen sect vs. Tianwei Dojo. It was unknown if Lanyue Workshop felt embarrassed and sent out a powerhouse to win the match on the spot. Meanwhile, the Fengshen sect sent out Feng Yue to kill the people of Tianwei Dojo to avenge Feng Yuchen. After a series of battles, the remaining forces became fewer and fewer. In the end, the Fengshen sect, Bai clan, Li clan, and Tianyuan dojo stood out. Today's competition ends here. The final battle tomorrow. After Feng Wei announced, everyone left. Yi Chen brought the old ancestor and Wu Shuang was about to leave when Lu Rui called out to him again. Young Master Yi. Madam, what's the matter? Let's talk somewhere else. Alright. After all, Lu Rui represented Lanyue Workshop, which was a powerful force. In the future, they might be useful in a high-class city, so Yi Chen followed her. The old ancestor laughed from behind. What are you laughing at? Wu Shuang asked. Can't you tell that Lu Rui is interested in Fellow Yi? Don't talk nonsense, Patriarch Hell. Why would my master like her? I didn't say that Fellow Yi likes her. I said that Lu Rui is very concerned about Fellow Yi. Humph. Yi Wuxuang snorted coldly and left. At this moment, Lu Rui brought Yi Chen to the river. Madam, what's the matter? Yi Chen asked. I know that young master has great ambitions. You want to leave Feng Provincial City and enter a big city. I've already made preparations for you. Yi Chen will definitely repay Madame's kindness. Yi Chen was very happy. What he wanted the most now was to leave this place as soon as possible. Although there were powerhouses in this tiny Feng provincial city, they were nothing to Yi Chen. What he wanted to see was a higher and more powerful place in the spiritual realm. This is a second stage Lanyue token. It can help young master. Thank you, madam. Yi Chen was very grateful for Lu Rui's help. Haha, I value young master's future. There's no need to thank me. Alright. Since madam values me so much, I won't let you down. Then I'm very happy. As she spoke, Lu Rui's charming eyes stared at Yi Chen. Madam, if there's nothing else, I'll go back first. Tomorrow is the final battle. I can't lose. Alright. Lu Rui was a shrewd person. Naturally, she knew Yi Chen's intentions. She could only bury her feelings for Yi Chen in her heart. Otherwise, it would only backfire. Yi Chen left with the second stage Lanyue token. When he returned to the Bai clan, the patriarch came up to Yi Chen and kept asking him what happened. Fellow Yi, you can't hold it in, can you? That Lu Rui's figure. TSK, I'm so hungry. Patriarch, why don't I introduce you to her? Yi Chen asked. Haha, that would be best. You really believe me? Yi Chen glared at him and walked toward his house. Lu Rui had no feelings for the patriarch, so Yi Chen naturally would not cause trouble for her. You brat. The patriarch shook his head. His mind was still filled with Lu Rui's image, especially those important parts. The patriarch was drooling. She completely met his requirement. Ayaya, what a pity. Why didn't such a beauty see me, the elegant patriarch? As he spoke, he entered his house and began cultivating. Having just entered the conjoint body stage, the patriarch needed to absorb a large number of spirit stones to replenish his foundation. Otherwise, if his foundation was unstable, the consequences would be unpredictable. After entering the house, Yi Chen released the Void Breaker beast. It absorbed the spirit stones like eating beans. It was too easy. Chapter 1880. The next morning, Bai Hua visited Yi Chen personally. Brother Yi. Yi Chen walked out of the door and found Bai Hua with a box. This is? Yi Chen asked. This is my clan's golden pill for boosting strength. Today is the final battle, so it can definitely help you. Thank you, Brother Bai. Yi Chen did not expect Bai Hua to pay so much for the position of master. He even took out such a treasure. Since he had taken it out, there was no reason for him not to accept it, so he accepted it decisively. Brother Yi, I'll be counting on you this time. No problem. Yi Chen nodded. Bai Hua smiled and left. Looking at the golden pill in his hand, Yi Chen used his golden pupil flame to appraise it just to be safe. After discovering that it was indeed a treasure, he was overjoyed. Bai Hua had no reason to harm him. After all, Bai Hua and Bai Lin were only father and son on the surface. Yi Chen sat on the stone platform and swallowed the golden pill. Zzz. Suddenly, a powerful energy flowed through his body. Yi Chen could feel an unprecedented sense of smoothness. This was because the golden core had completely opened up his meridians, allowing the flow of energy to become incomparably smooth. All of the energy he had absorbed from the void-splitting beast was now being refined. Yi Chen unleashed the mighty power of the ancient god body, channeling the spiritual power he had absorbed earlier through the power of the golden core to cleanse and refine it again. Boom! In his meridians, it was like the roar of a dragon shaking the earth. Even the houses were shaken and began to resonate. This kind of power shocked Bai Hua, who was far away. This person is indeed extraordinary. I have used the golden core before, but it did not have much effect. The purer the golden core is, the less effective it is. It seems that to improve the effect of the golden core, talent is needed. Sigh. He sighed, and he only hated the members of the Bai clan for their low natural talent. With the power of the golden pill, Yi Chen had completely refined the massive amount of spiritual power he had absorbed last night. Although there were no signs of a breakthrough, the improvement of his foundation was obvious. My current cultivation base is equivalent to that of a body integration cultivator at the very least. Once I make a breakthrough, I'll definitely be able to elevate my cultivation base to the pinnacle of the body integration realm. Yi Chen was very satisfied. Subsequently, he summoned Xiao Jin. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Xiao Jin was extremely excited to see Yi Chen again. I'll give you something nice to eat this time. Yi Chen took out the Supreme Spirit Stone and placed it on the ground. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Goldie pounced on them like a hungry ghost, pecking at the food energetically. Yi Chen had long sensed that although Xiao Jin did not look very powerful, it contained a special power. This power was extremely powerful in refining spirit stones. In other words, Xiao Jin's potential was very strong, so strong that it was shocking. Even Yi Chen could not estimate where the ceiling of its potential was now. Okay, Yi Chen asked while patting Xiao Jin's head. Go, go, go. Goldie kept flapping its wings, as if it was very happy. Soon, all the spirit stones were gone. Little Gold's body was raised as if it had eaten too much. This was probably because he hadn't eaten for a long time, so he was gluttonous. Of course, Yi Chen knew that with Xiao Jin's ability, this was nothing. It would digest it soon. Zzz. Suddenly, Goldie's body emitted a strange light, and his body began to grow bigger. Go, go, go. Goldie flew up into the sky. Then, its eyes shone brightly and it spread its wings. Before, Xiao Jin could also fly, but his body was slightly bloated. Now, his wings were clearly bigger, and after eating so many spirit stones, his body had become much slimmer. Roar! Moreover, Goldie could even roar, which was extremely rare among flying beasts. Little guy, what breed are you exactly? Yi Chen could not help but wonder. Subsequently, Goldie landed, looking a little sleepy. Sleep after eating? Yi Chen was speechless. However, he still made Goldie shrink and go back to sleep. After settling Goldie, Goldie called Wu Shuang and the Patriarch of Hell out. Let's go! Ha ha ha, I'll definitely shine this time. The Patriarch of Hell was very confident. Clearly, his cultivation last night was very successful. After all, the cultivation resources that Bai Hua had given him were definitely enough. Yi Chen looked at Yi Wushuang. He was also in high spirit. Alright, I'll let you guys perform first. He knew that Wu Shuang and the Patriarch of Hell must be itching to fight. When they arrived at the battlefield, there were actually more people watching the competition than the last time. They knew that the final battle was coming. Even many organizations that had lost before sent people to watch. This battle was related to the distribution of power in Fengzhou City, so naturally they dared not be careless. Everyone, today is the day of the final battle. It'll definitely be a very interesting battle. This time we need tickets. Feng Wei's words made many people puzzled. Tickets? What the hell? A powerhouse asked. It's very simple. If you want to enter the battlefield this time, you need to pay a treasure to get a ticket. You guys are robbing us. Ha ha ha, you guys can choose not to come in and watch the competition. Feng Wei responded with a smile. Damn it. The people from the sects that had lost earlier revealed ferocious expressions. However, as an elder of the Phoenix God sect, Feng Wei was not afraid at all. The Phoenix God sect had absolute authority in Fengzhou City. They could earn a lot from this battle. This was the strategy set by the city governor, and he was just an executor. Are you guys going in or not? Go in. Everyone had no choice but to take out their treasures to exchange for tickets. They had to see the future clearly, or they would fall into a passive position. The Bai clan was a clan that had advanced, so they did not need to pay a ticket. Yi Chen and the other two entered naturally. After entering the venue, Yi Chen glanced around. There were some unfamiliar faces. He was a little puzzled because these unfamiliar faces were very powerful. There were even mastery stage conjoint body almighties. Brother Yi. Noticing Yi Chen's puzzlement, Bai Hua stepped forward. "Brother Bai, who are these people?" Yi Chen asked. "These people are from above." "From above?" "That's right. Our Fengzhou city is only a small border city. It's nothing in the entire spirit realm. They are from Dawei City." "Where is Dawei City?" Looking at Bai Hua's respectful expression, it seemed that Dawei City should be a relatively good core city. Dawei City is the entrance to the spirit realm. After all, it's a city with many powerhouses. These unfamiliar faces are the guards of the 8th Prince of Dawei City. The 8th Prince. All kinds of information rushed over at once. Yi Chen was not prepared. The 8th Prince is a relative of the imperial family. He took the initiative to go to Dawei City to guard it. He especially likes young talents, so the prince's residence is filled with the strongest people in Dawei City. The 8th Prince is very generous. The spirit stones that our Bai clan gave you are trash in the prince's residence. What? Yi Chen was a little surprised because the spirit stones given by the Bai clan were already of the highest grade compared to the spirit realm. End of this chapter. Chapter 1881. At this moment, the Feng Shen Gate's leader, Feng Yun, walked up to the higher-ups and bowed. "Lord Envoy, did you enjoy yourself this time?" The envoy glanced at Feng Yun and said disapprovingly, "There's still a gap between your Feng State City and the other cities." This? Feng Yun trembled slightly. He did not expect that the competition he had prepared with all his might would be so insignificant in the envoy's eyes. "Ha, but there's something interesting." "Oh? Please enlighten me, envoy." "It's those 3 outsiders." Hearing this, Feng Yun frowned. This was not the answer he wanted to hear. He wanted to send his son into Great Might City. If the person who came was interested in Yi Chen and the other 2 outsiders, then his plan would be in vain. The envoy saw through Feng Yun's thoughts, but the envoy was even more thoughtful. He had already thought of a way to deal with Feng Yun. "You don't have to worry so much. Feng Yun, I want you to do me a favor." "Oh!" Feng Yun was nervous and excited. What did the envoy want him to help with? The envoy smiled and said, "I want your son to test the strength of these outsiders. If your son wins, I'll bring him to Dawei City to be taught. How about that?" "That's great. Thank you, envoy." "Thank you." Feng Yun's lips curled into a cold smile. This time, he would let Yi Chen and the other 2 die here to stop the envoy from taking them away. Then, he could let his son enter Dawei City to cultivate. This was killing 2 birds with 1 stone. After bowing, he returned to his seat. He nodded at Feng Wei and gave him a look. Yes. Feng Wei understood his meaning and walked up to the platform to announce. "The day of the final battle begins." Instantly, the spectators below cheered. This was the day of the final battle. Here, they were watching the highest level of competition in Feng State City. Even the envoy of Dawei City was here, which meant that this battle was even more important. Many of the spectators revealed looks of joy. They wanted to find out what they needed to learn from these battles and use actual combat to hone themselves. The first battle, the Bai clan against the Tianyuan dojo. The moment these words were spoken, everyone was incomparably excited. The might of the Tianyun dojo's martial grandmasters was unparalleled. However, Yi Chen had continuously defeated all of them. What would be the result of such a competition? At this moment, everyone's eyes were fixed on the fighting ring, waiting for the strong to show up. Dong, dong, dong. The first one to walk onto the platform was the Tianyuan dojo's martial grand master. He was the only person in the Tianyuan dojo who had not been defeated yet. He was also the Tianyuan dojo's last hope. "Ha ha ha, fellow Yi, I won't trouble you this time." Suddenly, the patriarch laughed out loud and walked onto the battle platform. Everyone was shocked. Previously, it was Yi Chen who fought and won. What was this old man going to do now? The old ancestor naturally suppressed his cultivation and let those people think that he was just an old trash at the spirit-severing stage, but in fact the old ancestor was already a conjoint stage almighty figure. "Old man, I want to fight Yi Chen. You should leave," the martial Grand Master said to the old ancestor. "Ha ha ha, young man, why are you in such a hurry? If you want to challenge Yi Chen, I'm afraid you'll have to get through me first." The martial Grand Master revealed an interested smile. He looked at the patriarch and then smiled confidently. "Old man, don't blame me if you're injured." Of course. Why would I blame you? You're the only one who's injured." Hearing this, the martial Grand Master was instantly enraged. Since the other party did not appreciate his kindness, why should he show mercy? Kill him, kill him! On the Tianyuan dojo's side, countless disciples were shouting for the martial Grand Master to kill the patriarch. The patriarch was natural and fearless. Very well. The martial Grand Master charged forward and the fist gleam arrived. Whoosh! The patriarch's figure moved instantly and arrived high in the sky. As the patriarch was too fast, the martial Grand Master did not discover his position. Everyone in the Tianyuan dojo was shocked. How could such a shocking speed be possible? Above, they kept reminding the martial Grand Master. Kill! The martial Grand Master suddenly punched toward the sky. Rumble! The huge fist gleam was unstoppable and incomparably powerful. Underworld sword chi, disintegrate! The patriarch sneered. The underworld sword in his hand descended like a dragon diving into the sea. Hiss, hiss, hiss! The sword chi made a strange sound. It was the patriarch's unique rule. Kacha, kacha, kacha! The fist gleam collapsed on its own before it could reach the patriarch. What? The martial Grand Master was shocked. What cultivation did the person in front of him have to be able to shatter his fist gleam? Ha ha ha, Patriarch Underworld, looks like you've hidden your cultivation. The martial Grand Master was not a pushover. He had been fighting for many years and had experienced many life and death situations. He naturally knew the trick the person in front of him was playing. Martial Grand Master, what realm do you think I'm at? Humph, I don't care what realm you're at. I'll kill you even if you're an old monster in the form synthesis realm. As soon as he said that, all the children trembled. This martial Grand Master was really confident. However, they had always thought that outsiders ascended from the spirit realm. Their foundation was not stable. At the same time, they carried too much impure energy in their bodies. In this way, even if the patriarch was really in the form synthesis realm, the martial Grand Master was still confident of winning. After all, the martial Grand Master himself was in the peak of the spirit-severing realm. Very good, very good. The patriarch clapped his hands and revealed a smile. However, this smile became extremely cold. Since the other party was mocking him, there was no need for him to show mercy. Kill! The patriarch's eyes were filled with killing intent as he swept his gaze in all directions. Ha ha ha, let's fight! The martial Grand Master entered berserk mode and charged forward crazily. His whole body was shining with golden light. It was the indestructible Vajra body. Chi chi chi. However, when the underworld sword chi passed through his body, the martial Grand Master actually felt unbearable pain. The martial Grand Master looked at his body and found that it was covered in blood. This is impossible! He roared. The people in the Tianyuan dojo were also shocked. Those onlookers could not understand how the martial Grand Master, who was previously in the indestructible Vajra body, got injured at this moment. You bastard! The martial Grand Master attacked angrily. He concentrated all the power in his body on the fist light, wanting to kill with one strike. Ha ha ha, idiot! The patriarch laughed a few times and flew up. There were many illusions, and unexpectedly, countless beautiful women appeared. What is this? The martial Grand Master was in a rage just now. Now that he saw such a scene, he was immediately stunned. Now, while the martial Grand Master was stunned, the patriarch of the underworld Sword Chi appeared again. The power of the underworld and the power of disintegration came pressing down. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Chi, chi, chi. The martial Grand Master's body was bleeding. He was in unbearable pain as he knelt on one knee. Chapter 1882. Everyone was dumbstruck when they saw this scene. Isn't this ancestor a little too miraculous? Meanwhile, Yi Chen was very calm. He was used to such technique. Great ancestor, hurry up and end this. We're waiting for you to drink some tea, Yi Chen shouted toward the platform. Ha ha ha, how can tea be good? If we want a drink, we naturally have to drink wine. As the old ancestor spoke, he took out his delicious spring wine and drank a mouthful. Instantly, the image of two beauties appeared in front of him. The old ancestor's face turned red, and he looked like an idiot. Okay, I'll listen to you. Let's drink. It's a deal. The patriarch was thrilled to hear what Yi Chen said. At this moment, the martial Grand Master in the dueling ring roared furiously. He had been ignored. I was actually ignored. I am the martial Grand Master of the Tianyuan Dojo. You actually dare to ignore my existence. The martial Grand Master's eyes bulged out as he looked at the old ancestor like a demon. Hee, sorry, you really can't give me any pressure, and I don't want to ignore you, hee. Such a smile and such words infuriated the martial Grand Master. Pooh! He spat out a mouthful of blood. Martial Grand Master! Everyone in the Tianyuan Dojo stepped forward and shouted. The spectators were even more astonished. This old ancestor was amazing. He could make a martial Grand Master vomit blood with just one sentence? Previously, everyone thought that Yi Chen was the only one who was powerful. Now that the patriarch had appeared and suppressed the great martial master on the spot, everyone was curious about Yi Chen and the other two. They wanted to know how powerful these people were. Seems like this outsider isn't as simple as he seems. That's right. Even though he ascended from the spirit realm, his strength is shocking. This old man seems to be unruly and unrestrained, but the rule power contained in his sword aura is terrifying. Many of the spectators were experts, and they could tell that the Yellow Springs rule had been cultivated in the old ancestor's sword chi for many years. This kind of rule was a kind of intent, and it could be engraved into the sword's edge. When the sword chi rushed out, this rule could be fused into it, raising its elemental attack. Old bastard, I'll kill you! The martial Grand Master was completely enraged. He ignored his injuries and forcefully made his move. Kill! His figure was enormous, and with every step he took, the great earth trembled. This time, his entire body was wrapped in Vajra light. He was going to crush the old ancestor. Ha ha, fun, fun! The old ancestor had unleashed the beauty array. Hee, come on, come on! Ha ha ha, what a strong body! I like it, I like it! Instantly, countless beauties surrounded the martial Grand Master. The martial Grand Master's chi and blood attacked his heart. He was furious. Looking at the beauties in front of him, his heart actually trembled. He even wanted to reach out and grab them. However, he knew that this was a battlefield of life and death. How could he forget about life and death because of women? It can't be. A martial Grand Master was tempted? This old man's formation is very realistic. Look at those beauties, I'm about to drool. F***ck, this old man is really despicable. Many cultivators despised the old ancestor, but the old ancestor was happy because this was his specialty. The old ancestor stood where he was and drank a mouthful of aged wine. After that, he revealed an infatuated look. It was actually similar to a martial Grand Master. He's infatuated with his beauties. Why is this old man so narcissistic? Everyone fainted one after another. With the old ancestor around, there was indeed joy and laughter. However, this was a battle of life and death. The patriarch had full control over the array formation and the temptation of the beauty. The old ancestor's eyes suddenly turned cold. The underworld sword in his hand emitted a cold gleam. Martial Grand Master, send him off. Murderous intent filled the air. The old ancestor killed 7 people with one step. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The sword chi was like a vengeful ghost. Every part of the attack was vital. This was the underworld sword. The martial Grand Master stretched out his hand, trying to grab the important part of one of the beauties. However, he could never do it because his body was falling backward. Blood flowed from his throat. Even the indestructible body could not block the underworld destruction sword chi. Boom, boom, boom. The martial Grand Master's tall body fell, which meant that Tianyuan Dojo had completely lost the right to compete. Martial Grand Master. The people of Tianyuan Dojo went up the stage in tears and carried the martial Grand Master's body down. They hated the old ancestor of Underworld, but it was useless. This was a battle of life and death. If one's skills were inferior, one had to admit it. The old ancestor of Underworld wins. Feng Wei frowned slightly. He did not expect this to be the result. The old ancestor walked back with a swagger. His old face was still flushed. Yi Chen could not help but think that the old ancestor must be thinking about something special. Congratulations, old ancestor, Yi Chen said. Fellow Yi, I can still do this little job, hee hee. After the old ancestor said that, he took out his wine pot and handed it to Yi Chen. Then, he raised his brows, signaling Yi Chen to keep his promise. Yi Chen was speechless. He did not expect the old ancestor to be so calculative. However, when he smelled the wine in the wine pot, why did it feel so abnormal? Fellow Yi, since when have you become so unconfident? All right. Yi Chen's expression turned serious and he drank it in one gulp. Subsequently, a burning sensation surged through his body. There was even a subtle force that was charging through his meridians. Yi Chen could not help but blush. Hee hee. The old ancestor revealed a strange smile, as if some scheme had succeeded. Fellow Yi, how is it? It's all right. Yi Chen resisted the urge and said. Don't endure it, fellow Yi. Why don't I do something to help you? As he said that, the old ancestor was going to use the same trick again and give Yi Chen a beauty. No. Yi Chen was speechless. This old man was really not serious. He even wanted to trick his own people. Hee hee, it's so uncomfortable to see you. I won't feel at ease if I don't help you. As he said that, the old ancestor was about to make a move. Rumble. Suddenly, Yi Chen's entire body erupted with power, shocking the surroundings. In his surprise, the old ancestor found that Yi Chen had returned to normal. The old ancestor was shocked. This internal energy was too strong. Although he could control this medicinal wine, he had never seen anyone else besides him who could easily dissolve it. Back at Paradise Peak, the old ancestor had used this trick to almost make Blissful Scholar lose control. One must know that Blissful Scholar was a tribulation stage almighty, while Yi Chen was only a void refinement cultivator. Thinking of this, the old ancestor could not help but be shocked. Fellow Yi, how is it? It's just a small test, he. It's not bad, Yi Chen said with a serious expression, but the old ancestor wanted to laugh. At this moment, Yi Chen suddenly felt a cold, murderous aura coming toward him. He looked up and saw Feng Yun looking at him coldly. Does this old thing want to harm me? At the same time, Yi Chen looked at Feng Yun coldly. Earlier, he saw this guy whispering with the emissary, but he did not know what they were talking about. Chapter 1883. After negotiating with the Dawei City envoy, Feng Yun's lips curled into a cold smile. After returning to the Gate of Fertility, He immediately summoned Feng Yuhua and Feng Yue. "Father, what's the matter?" the two asked. "Yi Chen is arrogant and despotic. He has already angered the emissary of Great Might City. Now, this is the best opportunity for you. Any one of you can kill Yi Chen, and our Feng Wang sect will rise." The two were excited. The Dawei City envoy was a noble existence. Now that their father had discussed it with them, they could do whatever they wanted. "Father, do we have a chance to enter Dawei City?" "That's right. Killing Yi Chen is a test from the Dawei City envoy. Remember, don't hold back." "Yes." The two nodded. They were both at the great perfection stage. They were not afraid of outsiders, even if they were at the fusion stage, let alone Yi Chen, who was at the void refinement stage. Yi Chen's sharp, cold eyes saw Feng Yun and his two sons whispering in the Gate of Fertility's camp. He immediately understood something. "Fellow Yi, what's wrong?" the patriarch asked. "It seems like someone is targeting us," Yi Chen said with a smile. "Who?" The patriarch looked around cautiously but did not find anything out of the ordinary. "The Gate of Fertility. Ha, these bastards. It seems like it's because of the conflict between you and Feng Yuchen." "That's not it." "Why?" The patriarch did not understand. If it was not because of Feng Yuchen, why would the Gate of Fertility target them? Yi Chen pointed in the direction of the Dawei City envoy and told the patriarch what he had seen. "Could it be that the Feng Xin sect is targeting us in order to curry favor with the Great Might City's envoy? The Dawei City envoy is here to select talents. We showed off our abilities earlier and will definitely be valued. So, what will the Gate of Fertility do?" "I get it now. These bastards want to kill us in front of the Great Might City's emissary. Then, they'll show their worth and have the emissary lead them into a high-class city." "Smart." Yi Chen nodded. The patriarch revealed a fierce expression. He did not expect the other party to be so ambitious. If not for Yi Chen, he would still be in the dark. Next match, Yi Chen of the Bai clan against Feng Yue of the Gate of Fertility. At this time, Feng Wei stepped forward and called out the name list for the next match. Yi Chen mumbled to himself, "Why did he ask me to fight him?" "Be careful, fellow Yi." Knowing that the Feng Xin school was going to target them, the old ancestor reminded. "Don't worry, if people don't offend me, I won't offend them. If people offend me, I won't forgive them." A cold gleam shot out of Yi Chen's eyes. The patriarch seemed to have seen the result. He smiled and took a sip of the aged wine. In the fighting ring, Feng Yue's eyes emitted a cold gleam. His murderous aura was clear, and he was clearly coming for Yi Chen. "Yi Chen, surrender and kneel before me. I can consider sparing your life." Feng Yue stepped forward and shouted. Yi Chen did not respond. He merely looked at him coldly. How dare you ignore my words? You're courting death." Feng Yue did not say anything else. He immediately attacked with a killing move. After all, Feng Yun had already told him that there was no need to hold back. As long as he killed Yi Chen, the Great Might City's envoy would take a liking to him and his brother. So. Yi Chen's figure moved in a flash and his eyes were illusory. His footsteps were unfathomable. What's this? Feng Yue was shocked. His eyes stared straight ahead. However, Yi Chen's footsteps seemed to be moving to confuse his eyes. He could not find any pattern. Not only that, but he even felt dizzy as he was dragged into Yi Chen's rhythm. D***eminent. Feng Yue roared angrily. A spirit sword appeared in his hand. "Kill!" He waved the spirit sword and sword chi swept across, trying to force Yi Chen to stop. 9 heaven yu steps. However, not only did Yi Chen not stop, but he even sped up. All the sword chi missed. Yi Chen's figure had already arrived near Feng Yue. This. Feng Yue only saw figures moving around, but he could not see where Yi Chen's real body was. Kill! The sword chi was chaotic and the energy was constantly being consumed. However, none of Feng Yue's attacks hit Yi Chen. Everyone was shocked to see such a scene. Yi Chen's footsteps are too magical. Feng Yue's sword qi swept across, but it was ineffective. That's right. This footstep must be some kind of great divine power. Feng Yue underestimated his opponent. Feng Yue's attacks are all fatal. Could it be that he wants to take revenge for the conflict between Feng Yuchen and Yi Chen? The incident of Yi Chen teaching Feng Yuchen a lesson had long spread in Fengzhou City. Everyone knew about it. Feng Yue's current actions showed that he did not want Yi Chen to live. You little rascal, you're just dodging. What a joke. Feng Yue could not find Yi Chen's position, so he tried to provoke him. Ha ha ha, Feng Yue, you're not capable enough. Do you want me to stop and let you kill me? Yi Chen mocked. D***. Feng Yue was enraged. The sword qi became denser. He did not care where Yi Chen was now. He wanted to sweep the entire space. Feng Xin swordsmanship. 1,000 swords sweep 1,000 peaks. Feng Yue flew up and sword qi gathered all over his body. A sword-shaped sword formation appeared behind him, suppressing the space below. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Boom, boom, boom. The sword qi caused an explosion of energy. The battle platform shattered and the scene was horrifying. Wow, Feng Yue is indeed the son of the Fengshan Gates sect master. This sword qi is too powerful. This sword qi contains a special rule. Naturally, it's not something ordinary sword qi can compare to. However, where is Yi Chen? Yi Chen disappeared? It was not just Feng Yue. Even the spectators below could not find Yi Chen's position. His movement technique was a little exaggerated, right? Just when everyone was puzzled, the space suddenly shook and Yi Chen appeared out of thin air. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. A figure flashed past. Feng Yue felt a chill on his face. He wiped his face with his hand and blood immediately flowed. Feng Yue was completely enraged. His sword qi did not hurt Yi Chen at all. He had lost all his dignity. He was even injured by Yi Chen. Yi Chen's move was not a direct killing move. Instead, it was a provocation. Yi Chen was toying with him. Yi Chen did it with ease. Unbelievable. Under such powerful sword qi, Yi Chen toyed with Feng Yue. Is this the suppression of strength? He's a void refinement cultivator and an outsider at that. How can he suppress him? The spectators below the battlefield were stunned by Yi Chen's powerful movement technique. It was as if he had entered a different space and disappeared without a trace. Then, he reappeared at will. Such a movement technique was like a god. Feng Yue, kneel and beg for mercy. I'll consider letting you live. Yi Chen stood opposite him. The corner of his lips curled up slightly as he said with provocation and mockery. Chapter 1884. Yi Chen repeated what Feng Yue had said before. Feng Yue was infuriated and his entire body was trembling. However, he was the one who was at a disadvantage. Moreover, he had been provoked by his opponent. If he did not wash away this humiliation, he would never be able to hold his head high again. Yi Chen, I'll kill you. Without holding back, Feng Yue unleashed all his might. He charged at Yi Chen with the spirit sword in his hand. Yue, he's provoking you on purpose. Don't fall for it. Feng Yun stood up and shouted when he saw the situation in the battle ring. However, at that moment, Feng Yue was completely overwhelmed by his desire for revenge. How could he hear the voices outside the arena? He held the spirit sword in his hand and infused spiritual power into it. He wanted to kill Yi Chen in one strike. Yi Chen stood where he was. Not only did this make Feng Yue even more furious, but he also saw an opportunity. Yi Chen, you're so arrogant. You're standing still. Very well, I'll let you die here and wash away all the humiliation I've suffered. Feng Yue smirked as he charged forward. Everything seemed to be going according to his plan. He was going to succeed. He had the chance to enter Dawei City. Dawei City was the place that everyone at the border dreamed of. All he had to do was kill Yi Chen, and he would be able to go there. Kill! Feng Yue unleashed all his might. A ferocious tiger totem appeared behind him. He activated the totem's power and swung his sword, shocking the entire battle ring. Kacha, kacha, kacha! The battle ring kept cracking due to the sword chi. Everyone was shocked and released their chi barriers to protect themselves. They did not expect that they would have to be so careful to watch a battle that their lives would be in danger. That's too powerful! That's Feng Yue's ultimate technique, Tiger Roar swordsmanship. Yi Chen must die. Why isn't Yi Chen moving when faced with such powerful sword chi? He must be shocked. He can't even move his feet. He can't even use his exquisite ability. What a pity! Everyone shook their heads. Yi Chen was an outsider. It was rare for him to have such strength. Moreover, his movement technique was amazing. Even Feng Yue could not detect his position. It was a pity that he was going to die under the Tiger Roar swordsmanship. Die. Feng Yue's sword chi was about to arrive. His powerful aura already wanted to devour everything. Zzz. Suddenly, Yi Chen held his breath and focused. He stood rooted to the spot. Everything seemed to have become extremely slow. One could clearly see the cold smile on Feng Yue's face as the powerful sword chi descended. All of this was reflected in Yi Chen's eyes. The sword chi was approaching, but it froze the moment it touched Yi Chen. Why do I feel like I can't move? Some of the spectators felt as if time had frozen. Their bodies had sunk into the void. They could only feel energy submitting to them, but their bodies were completely motionless. No, that's not right. I feel an incomparably powerful force in this space. This power stopped everything. What is this? Everyone could only roll their eyes. Looking at such a horrifying scene, they felt that their entire being was unreal. Kacha, kacha, kacha! Suddenly, a cracking sound came from the fighting ring. As far as everyone's eyes could see, they realized that the sword chi that was about to kill Yi Chen had automatically shattered in the space. Following that, something even more shocking happened. In front of Yi Chen, Feng Yue's body was also shattering. His face shattered like pottery. Even that smug expression was still there, but his body could not stop shattering. It was shattering without blood. Kacha, kacha, kacha! These sounds were like the call of the Grim Reaper. Everyone felt a chill run down their spines. Some even peed their pants because they did not want to shatter like Feng Yue. Their life spirits were controlled by an invisible hand. They did not know what was happening. They only felt fear from the depths of their hearts. Yue! Feng Yun shouted loudly, but his voice became very long and the speed at which it traveled was extremely slow. Kacha, kacha, kacha! The sound of shattering became louder. Everyone's body suddenly returned to normal. What happened? They looked at each other. The spectators were all dumbfounded. However, when they looked at the fighting ring, they realized that all the horror was real. Yi Chen stood where he was while the ferocious Feng Yue, who was about to kill Yi Chen, had been shattered into pieces and was sprawled on the ground. Yi Chen revealed a devilish smile. Everything happened suddenly and suddenly. Everyone fell into a state of chaos. Only one person was clear, and that was Yi Chen. No one knew what had happened, but looking at the result, Yi Chen must have used some kind of power to control everything. However, what kind of power was that? They had never seen it before. It was mysterious and incomprehensible. How did you kill my son? Feng Yun flew out and questioned Yi Chen. I'm not obliged to explain to you. He wanted to kill me, so of course he died. Yi Chen turned around, leaving a furious Feng Yun behind. At this moment, the Dawei City emissary frowned slightly and looked over. This kid is extraordinary. Not bad. This person can control spacetime power. His foundation is definitely not inferior to ours. Moreover, his talent is top-notch and his comprehension might be unprecedented. We can't let such a talent get away. That's right. The two Dawei city emissaries had already made up their minds to recruit Yi Chen because they could not understand how Yi Chen had destroyed Feng Yue. Fellow Yi. Seeing that Yi Chen had come down, the patriarch went forward to welcome him. His face was full of surprise. The patriarch was also very puzzled about what had just happened and even felt his heart skip a beat. Fellow Yi, what happened just now? It's very simple, ancient god power. Since the patriarch had come to ask, Yi Chen did not hide it and told him directly. However, the patriarch was still dumbfounded. He had heard from Yi Chen about ancient god power before that it was his special cultivation technique. Was it too much to be mysterious to this extent? Seeing that the patriarch was still puzzled, Yi Chen explained, the ancient god body is the pinnacle of body refining. It can transform one's own qi, blood, and spiritual power into true energy. As long as one's foundation is strong enough, they can completely distort space-time and destroy everything. The patriarch was shocked. He thought that Yi Chen was really a god. He had never seen such a terrifying person. This was the first time Yi Chen had released the complete ancient god power after cultivating the ancient god body. The effect exceeded his own imagination. This kind of power could almost control fate. What kind of existence is the ancient god? Yi Chen asked himself in his heart. This kind of power was too frightening, so frightening that even he was shocked. Yi Chen, how dare you kill my brother? I'll kill you! Suddenly, a person on the battle platform roared. Chapter 1885. Yi Chen looked back. It was the first young master of the Phoenix God sect, Feng Yuhua. This person's strength was naturally far above Feng Yue. He looked aggressive, but Yi Chen was not afraid at all. He even wanted to laugh. Ha, Feng Yuhua, I advise you to be sensible. Don't look for trouble. Yi Chen's words immediately caused Feng Yuhua to retaliate. He was the first young master of the Phoenix God sect. He was definitely the leader of the younger generation in Feng State City. Now, he was being mocked by an outsider. He swore to take revenge. Kill! Feng Yuhua flew directly to the fighting ring and shouted at Yi Chen. This! Feng Wei did not expect this and did not know what to do. At this moment, Feng Yun's cold eyes were filled with killing intent. He was obviously furious. Yes. He nodded at Feng Wei and Feng Wei announced the start of the battle. The spectators were excited again. Among them were members of the Li clan. They wanted the Bai clan to fight with the Phoenix God sect so they could reap the benefits. Let's see if this guest from the Bai clan lives up to expectations. We can also observe Feng Yuhua's strength. It's a good thing. Yes, Yulong is the only son of our Li clan. We must be careful now. Many of the Li clan's elders smiled. They hoped to see Feng Yuhua and Yi Chen both injured. This way, their chances of winning the finals would greatly increase. Yulong, watch carefully. One of them will be your opponent in the finals. Yes. Li Yulong nodded slightly, but his eyes revealed disdain. He believed that whether it was intelligence or skill, he was above the two of them. On the platform, Feng Yuhua challenged Yi Chen. Such a battle was what everyone wanted to see the most. Feng Yuhua was known as the #1 prodigy of Feng State City, while Yi Chen had even killed Feng Yuhua's younger brother, Feng Yue, who was also a super prodigy of Feng State City. With such strength, he could completely be Feng Yuhua's opponent. Especially the way Yi Chen killed Feng Yue, it was simply unprecedented. This battle would definitely be interesting. Feng Yuhua, didn't you see what happened to your brother? I advise you to admit defeat immediately and scram. Yi Chen did not give the Phoenix God sect any face at all and reprimanded him. Just like a senior reprimanding a junior, these words actually caused Feng Yuhua's originally delicate and pretty face to become incomparably sinister. Yi Chen. With every word he said, the killing intent in his eyes seemed to burst out of his eyeballs. How? A provocative smirk appeared at the corner of Yi Chen's lips, making Feng Yuhua want to explode. Kill. Feng Yuhua finally could not hold back the rage within him. He wanted to attack first and kill Yi Chen by force. However, how could Yi Chen not see through such a trick with his eyes? 9 Heaven Yu steps? Once again, Yi Chen unleashed his exquisite body movement technique, combining it with his ancient god power after breaking through. Yi could not see his body. Chen Yu's Yu. Stage Master Yi. Yi Chen was like a phantom. He was elusive and unpredictable. Feng Yuchen looked around but could not find Yi Chen's real body. He immediately fell into a panic. Chen Yu Master Yu Master. Yang Feng Master of Chen Yu had Chen Yu Feng Chen Yu Feng Chen Yu Chen Yu Feng Chen and Feng Master Feng Chen. The fear was like an indelible shadow that had entered his heart. He had no choice but to challenge Yi Chen this time because his brother had died in Yi Chen's hands. If he did not act, his reputation would be ruined. Even the reputation of the Phoenix God sect would be destroyed. That was the reason why he attacked. Initially, he wanted to wait and hope that Yi Chen would fight Li Yulong first. However, he had received a hint from his father that he had to attack. Therefore, this battle was not what Feng Yuhua wanted in the first place. Kill. However, since he had already attacked, he would not allow himself to fail. He was the eldest young master of the Phoenix God sect. He wanted to fight with his strongest style. Divine Wind Sword Technique. 7 steps Absolute Sword. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Feng Yuhua's movement technique was also ethereal. The figures appeared at the same time, dazzling everyone. Following that, the 7 figures danced with their swords at the same time. 7 sword chi shuttled through the air. Wow, this is the ultimate technique of the Phoenix God sect. It's wonderful, it's amazing. This ability has really broadened my horizons. Many people had seen the 7 steps absolute sword for the first time. Today, their horizons had been broadened. Under this kind of sword technique, Yi Chen would definitely die. While everyone was praising, they also felt pity for Yi Chen. Was a genius about to fall? Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. At that moment, the surrounding space specters gathered dark force like stagnant rubber, instantly sticking to the 7 figures. What? Feng Yuhua was dumbfounded. He did not know what was happening. Yi Chen was a human cultivator. How did he have such powerful demonic ability? Moreover, this demonic ability was completely different from ordinary demonic abilities. It was a special type of demonic ability. He immediately realized that his divine telekinesis could not control the 7 killing shadows. This was the most terrifying thing. His own ability had fallen into someone else's control. This was too exaggerated. The crowd noticed that although Feng Yuhua had released the 7 killing shadows, the shadows did not move. Their energy was wasted. What was the meaning of this? The people below the stage only saw a blurry scene in the darkness. They did not feel the real sticky demonic ability, so they did not understand Feng Yuhua's actions. Do you feel it? The leader of Dawei City's emissaries asked. It's demonic ability. This boy is abnormal. We must bring him back to study. Yes. The conversation between the 2 emissaries made Yi Chen even more determined. The 2 of them had even ordered the people of Dawei City to guard the surrounding passages. They could not allow anything to happen to Yi Chen. This was because they saw that they could even find a way to deal with the demon tribe from Yi Chen. You're a demon? Feng Yuhua suddenly roared. Ha, I think you're the one who has been possessed. Why don't you admit defeat? Yi Chen's voice came from the void. It made Feng Yuhua's heart tremble. He did not even dare to attack recklessly. Be ****, you want me to admit defeat? Impossible. Then don't blame me for being merciless. You! Yi Chen's words had clearly shocked Feng Yuhua. He was a little nervous. You dare to call yourself the #1 genius of Fengzhou City with such a martial will? What a joke. Ha! Such laughter shocked the crowd. They saw that Feng Yuhua seemed to be really shocked. Could the number one genius of Fengzhou City be shocked by an outsider whose cultivation base was far lower than his? As soon as this scene appeared, it immediately caused countless discussions. The pressure on Feng Yun increased. Damn it! Feng Yun's brows were tightly knitted together. If it were not for the presence of the emissaries of Dawei City, he would have personally attacked. End of this chapter. Chapter 1886. On the platform, Feng Yuhua did not attack for a long time. This made the people from the Feng God sect a little impatient. Feng Yuhua, kill Yi Chen! Feng Yun shouted loudly. It was obvious that his tone was very serious. It was not that Feng Yuhua did not want to attack, but he could not. On one hand, he could not see Yi Chen's exact location. At the same time, his 7 kill shadows were still controlled by Yi Chen's void demon ability and could not move. It was not him who wanted to kill Yi Chen now, but Yi Chen would kill him at any time. He could not say anything in such a predicament. He was very angry inside. Ha ha ha, Feng Yuhua, how does this feel? It seems like your father is very dissatisfied with your performance. You want to take revenge? I think you should quickly admit defeat and scram. Yi Chen was giving Feng Yuhua a chance. He did not have any grudges with Feng Yuhua. As long as Feng Yuhua stopped targeting him, it would be fine to spare his life. However, if he did not know when to stop and was stubborn, Yi Chen would not waste time. Be ****, who do you think you are to teach me how to do things? Feng Yuhua's response was not the answer Yi Chen wanted. Your answer is wrong. So what? Die. The word die made Feng Yuhua's heart tremble. His entire body tensed up, and his energy was somewhat scattered. He could not gather it. His back was drenched in cold sweat, almost drenching his battle suit. Don't even think about it. Feng Yuhua knew that he had no way out. Since that was the case, he would risk his life. 7-step absolute sword, kill. He used his strongest senses to lock onto the shadow that he thought was Yi Chen's real body. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Feng Yuhua forcefully absorbed the 7-step absolute sword and rushed toward that figure. Swoosh. Following that, the 7 swords stabbed out at the same time. Yi Chen is dead? What everyone saw was the scene of Feng Yuhua's 7-sword assassinating Yi Chen. Countless cultivators shook their heads. Yi Chen had created too many miracles. It was a pity that he would eventually fall to Feng Yuhua's hands. At that moment, the patriarch only sneered while Yi Wushuang was expressionless. They had been with Yi Chen for too long. Naturally, they knew that it was a smokescreen. Yi Chen's 9 Heaven Yu steps was a supreme movement technique. How could Feng Yuhua lock onto him so easily? Moreover, Yi Chen had already controlled Feng Yuhua's 7-Ju sword qi. How could he let Feng Yuhua control them to kill him? It was easy to figure out that this was not the real Yi Chen. Kacha, kacha, kacha. Sure enough, just as Feng Yuhua revealed a complacent smile and was about to celebrate his victory, the voice completely shattered and turned into nothingness. Feng Yuhua's smile froze on his face. Then, his eyes looked to his side, and his movements became extremely slow, almost the same as Feng Yue's earlier movements. Beads of cold sweat dripped down Feng Yuhua's forehead. Everything in his body became extremely slow, but his mind was still working. He sensed that a figure had appeared beside him. It must be Yi Chen. No, Feng Yuhua's voice was intermittent, as if it was played in slow motion. At this moment, he finally saw the figure and the mocking sneer on that person's face. Yi Chen was beside him, but he felt that he could not defend at all because his movements were too slow. By the time he defended, Yi Chen's sword qi would have already passed by. In the ancient god space, no one could surpass Yi Chen's rules. Die. In Feng Yuchen's mind, the moment Yi Chen said die, a very long time passed. The fear he felt before his death continued to corrode his brain. The pain was indescribable. It was as if he had fallen into the Avicii hell, enduring endless punishment from the heavens. Swoosh! Even the assassination became incomparably slow. Feng Yuchen could almost feel the entire process of the assassination. It should have been completed in an instant, but now, he felt it completely. Blood spurted out and splattered in the air in slow motion. Then, it landed gently on the ground. Everyone's eyes became dull as they fell into the ancient god space at the same time. At this moment, Feng Yun wanted to rely on his own foundation to forcefully break through the ancient god space and kill Yi Chen. Kacha, kacha, kacha. As expected, Feng Yun relied on his strong foundation, and through the consumption of the limit breaker pill, he finally made a crack appear in the ancient god space. However, Yi Chen turned around and looked at him with a smile. That smile made Feng Yun feel the aura of hell. 7 steps absolute sword. These 4 words came out of Yi Chen's mouth. These 4 words made Feng Yun unable to believe it. These sword chi were absorbed by Yi Chen's illusion. They were the 7 steps absolute sword chi that Feng Yuhua released. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The 7 steps absolute sword, 7 sword chi merged into one and attacked Feng Yun. Kacha, kacha, kacha. The sword chi kept attacking, breaking through the restraints of space and reaching Feng Yun. Finally, Feng Yun also enjoyed the extreme fear of his 2 sons before they died. It was the fear of helplessness and despair. Ordinary people could not imagine it. Swoosh! As the sword chi entered his body, Feng Yun could even feel the process of his body being destroyed. Kacha, kacha, kacha. Finally, time and space completely shattered and the ancient god space disappeared. Feng Yuhua and Feng Yun fell to the ground at the same time. Only then did the others come to their senses. They looked at the battle platform and found that everything was normal. They did not know what had happened and thought that they had zoned out. As for the 2 envoys from Dawei City, they were shocked. Their cultivation base and comprehension were relatively high. They felt the abnormal spatial force just now and were very excited to witness such power again. This boy is extraordinary. The city lord will definitely like him. Not bad, we are going to make a great contribution. The 2 were ecstatic. This mission was not in vain. Feng Yun spat out a mouthful of blood and fell to the ground. Sect Master, Sect Master! Many elders of the Feng Shin sect shouted, but it was useless. Feng Yun was already dead. Host, why don't you announce the result? Yi Chen looked at Feng Wei and shouted. At this moment, even Feng Wei's heart was trembling. He was scared out of his wits. Although he did not know the specific cause of Feng Yun and Feng Yuhua's death, he felt the super-powerful spatial force just now. It was an irresistible power that seemed to control fate. It was like a god's power. Yi Chen wins. Although he was very unwilling to announce this result, it was the truth. Yi Chen assassinated our Feng Shin sect master. Kill him. Yes, kill him. Yi Chen, damn you. The death of the Feng Shin sect master completely enraged the people of the Feng Shin sect. They surrounded Yi Chen one after another, trying to bully him with numbers. At this time, a cold voice was heard. Following that, the underworld sword chi swept in all directions and the heavenly emperor sword ray shook the world. Chapter 1887. 2 figures flew onto the stage and guarded Yi Chen. They were the Patriarch of Hell and Yi Wushuang. Trying to bully the few with numbers? That's what I like the most, ha ha ha. Old Ancestor Yellow Spring held the Yellow Spring sword in his hand. He was filled with killing intent, and the smile on his face was filled with hidden killing intent. Wherever Yi Wushuang was, he carried sword might that intimidated everyone. The people from the Feng Shin sect had been very aggressive just now, but now that they saw the 3 of them together, they immediately turned pale with fright and did not dare to step forward. Feng Yun only has himself to blame for his death. Yi Chen walked to the front and shouted at the crowd. Humph, trying to shirk responsibility? No way. The people of the Feng Shin sect were overbearing. Everyone, don't be reckless. At that moment, a person walked up to them. The crowd looked over and saw that it was the messenger of Great Might City. Seeing that the Great Might City's emissary had stepped forward, the people of the Abundant Divine Gate stepped back and waited for the emissary to explain. The number 1 emissary walked onto the fighting ring. As he walked, he looked at Yi Chen. The young man before him had given him too much shock. Just his comprehension of the laws of spacetime alone was already at the level of a genius. Now that such a genius had encountered a predicament, he naturally had to lend him a hand. That way, he would be able to rope him in. The sect master of the Feng Godly sect, Feng Yun, took the initiative to kill Yi Chen but was killed by Yi Chen instead. It's that simple. In the spirit realm, this is a very common thing. What's the fuss about? He looked towards the gate of Feng Shin. When the disciples heard what Great Might City said, they immediately exploded. They were very unconvinced. This was the Feng Prefecture City, the spiritual land of the Feng God sect. How could they remain indifferent to the death of their sect master? Lord Envoy Yi Chen killed the sect master of the Feng God sect and the 3 young masters. This action has already angered everyone in the Feng God sect. I'm afraid it's not appropriate to not punish him. Feng Wei stepped forward and said, Feng Wei, you should know the rules. This is the competition that your Feng Shin sect organized. Don't you have any responsibility for such an outcome? Master Envoy, are you guys interested in Yi Chen and want to rope him in? Feng Wei's words made the emissary's eyes turn cold. Feng Wei, you dare to question me? If Yi Chen doesn't pay the price, where will our Feng Shin sect's face go? That's right, our Feng Shin sect is a famous sect. We must make Yi Chen pay the price this time. Yi Chen die. Seeing that Feng Wei had stepped forward, everyone in the Feng Shin sect perked up once again. Many of the elders stood up and watched as a great battle was about to break out. Those who were watching the show were even more excited. Originally, they only wanted to see the martial arts of the Feng God, but now the sect master of the Feng God sect, Feng Yun, the eldest young master, Feng Yuhua, and the second young master, Feng Yue, had all died in Yi Chen's hands. The Feng God sect was going to fight with Yi Chen and the other 2. This plot filled them with excitement. Ha ha, this is going to be fun. Yi Chen and the other 2 are going up against the various powerhouses of the Feng Shin sect. I really don't know the outcome of this chaotic battle. I didn't expect that even the emissary of Great Might City would speak up for Yi Chen and the other 2. It looks like Yi Chen has already gained the attention of Great Might City. If the Abundant God sect insists on going against Yi Chen, they might not have a good ending. I think so too. Yi Chen's talent is too powerful. An outsider coming to the spirit realm and immediately becoming all-powerful. Have you ever seen something like this? It's only natural that the emissary of Great Might City thinks highly of him. Most people had high hopes for Yi Chen. After all, he had the support of the Great Might City's envoy. Boom! Suddenly, a clap of thunder resounded through the heavens and earth, and a majestic pressure intimidated everyone present. A person walked down from the sky. Yi Chen frowned, his expression solemn. He sensed a powerful aura from that person. This aura not only intimidated everyone's physical energy, but it could even make people want to kneel and worship him unconsciously. This kind of physical and mental suppression at the same time meant that the other party was definitely a powerhouse. That's the Grand Supreme Elder of the Feng Shin sect, Feng Qingyang. Someone recognized the identity of the newcomer at a glance. Many people could not stand it anymore and knelt on the ground with a thud, directly worshipping him. Even many body integration stage beings could sense this unstoppable pressure, and they all bowed respectfully. If you can escape unscathed after killing the sect master of the Feng Shin sect in Feng State City, I don't think our Feng Shin sect needs to exist anymore. The person in the sky spoke. His voice was not very loud, but the power that shook people's hearts was still terrifying. Sensing this powerful aura, the number one emissary of Great Might City trembled. He also knew this person. Feng Qingyang was the Grand Supreme Elder of the Feng Xin sect, and also a member of the Feng Yun clan. This matter was troublesome. The two emissaries looked at each other and nodded slightly. They had to act cautiously. Rumble! With a loud sound, Feng Qingyang flew and landed on the ground, stirring up dust that was dozens of feet high. Rocks shattered, and two deep footprints appeared on the battle platform. His eyes were locked on Yi Chen. Killing intent filled the space. Everyone retreated, not daring to make the slightest movement. "Senior, why are you so angry?" The number one emissary of Great Might City stepped forward and bowed. "Angry? Why would I be angry? I'm just protecting the dignity of the Feng Xin sect. Senior, we're here on the orders of the City Lord of Great Might City to select talent. Yi Chen is a rare talent that can be molded. We'll take him away to see the City Lord of David City. Please be merciful, Senior." "Yes, Senior, this person is someone the City Lord must see. Don't be impulsive." The two emissaries stepped forward to persuade Feng Qingyang at the same time, hoping that he would not make a move. Everyone was shocked. What kind of status did the emissary of Great Might City have? Yet, he was so polite to Feng Qingyang. This showed the old man's strength and status. "Patriarch, Yi Chen is too arrogant. He dares to touch the foundation of our Feng Xin sect and defy the dignity of the Feng clan. We can't just sit and watch him leave," Feng Wei said. "That's right, Patriarch. We'll follow your orders. Patriarch, please give the order to kill this kid. We'll kill Yi Chen and avenge the sect master." Everyone stepped forward and fanned the flames, wanting to attack Yi Chen. "Yi Chen." Feng Qingyang's cold eyes locked on Yi Chen. The latter immediately felt a cold air surrounding him. "That's it?" Yi Chen smirked. The true Samadhi fire immediately erupted, burning the space and destroying the cold killing intent. Boom, boom, boom. Following a few explosions, Feng Qingyang's cold killing intent was completely destroyed. Feng Qingyang did not expect that not only would his intimidation of authority be useless, but he would also be tricked by Yi Chen. This situation was rather awkward. "You're asking for death." Feng Qingyang yelled angrily and attacked instantly, a series of palm prints. Boom, boom, boom. Waves of palm energy were like ferocious beasts released from their cages, madly approaching Yi Chen. "Watch out," the Patriarch warned. "Do you think your petty tricks can harm me?" Unexpectedly, the more dangerous the energy was, the more Yi Chen ignored it. Ancient god power was hidden in his body as he took it head-on. Rumble! The palm energy bombarded Yi Chen's body. Just when everyone thought he was dead for sure, he did not move at all. He was like Mount Tai. Chapter 1888. Huh! This scene was too shocking. Everyone sighed and looked at the battle platform. They wanted to know how Yi Chen could take Feng Qingyang's palm attack head-on. Feng Qingyang was an almighty at the conjoint body stage. There were even rumors that he was already at the great conjoint body stage. His palm print could easily kill someone who had just entered the conjoint body stage. However, Yi Chen was only at the advanced void refinement stage. It was unbelievable. Even Feng Qingyang himself was shocked. He looked at Yi Chen with doubt in his heart. "Boy, how did you take my palm attack?" In the end, curiosity prompted him to ask directly. "It's very simple." "Very simple?" Feng Qingyang was furious. "That's because your palm attack is too weak." As soon as this was said, the crowd was in an uproar. To be called weak by a void refinement stage cultivator, where would Feng Qingyang put his face? Be ****. Feng Qingyang was instantly enraged and flew toward Yi Chen. The Dawei City emissaries were speechless. They did not expect Yi Chen to not show any fear when facing the patriarch of the Feng Huang sect. He even took the initiative to provoke him. Was this the arrogance of a genius? This boy is too arrogant. How are we going to save him? The number 1 emissary said. That's right. Who would have thought that Yi Chen would not be afraid of Feng Qingyang, who even we have to fear? It's unimaginable. The number 2 emissary said. However, Yi Chen's actions instantly ignited the hearts of many independent cultivators. They were all at the bottom of the cultivation world. Now that they saw Yi Chen's domineering attitude, the dignity in their hearts was ignited. Yi Chen is a real man. Amazing, he dares to challenge Feng Qingyang directly. Such a feat is worth dying for. Everyone praised and recognized Yi Chen's courage. As for the people of the Feng Wang sect, they were even more furious at Yi Chen. The patriarch of Feng Wang sect was the symbol of the Feng Wang sect. He was the embodiment of all their dignity. Now Yi Chen said that he was too weak. If they did not kill Yi Chen, the Feng Wang sect would be destroyed. Kill, kill, kill! The people of the Feng Wang sect shouted together, hoping that the patriarch would kill Yi Chen. Fellow Yi, this person's cultivation base is great integration stage. It's equivalent to the tribulation stage of the spirit stage. He can't be underestimated. The patriarch was worried for Yi Chen because his cultivation base was too high. As a body integration cultivator as well, the patriarch could sense the disparity between himself and the man before him. There's no need to worry. If he wants to kill me, let's see what he's got. However, Yi Chen did not care at all. He remained calm even if Mount Tai collapsed in front of him. His lofty sentiments and lofty aspirations shocked everyone present. Kill! The patriarch attacked in rage. His sword fingers condensed energy, and like a divine weapon, he charged at Yi Chen. Void vibration. Yi Chen unleashed his ancient god power and triggered the power of the void. Suddenly, the surrounding space trembled and shattered. Boom, boom, boom. As the power of the void continued to shatter, Feng Shen ancestors' path forward was instantly blocked. Feng Qingyang's heart trembled. He flew up because the energy from the explosion was extremely strong. You can actually cause the void to explode? How did you do it? He asked in surprise again. Do you want to learn? I can teach you. Bastard. He actually wants to teach me like a disciple? Such arrogance made Feng Qingyang's face turn ashen. Feng Shen sword qi. Finally, he could not take it anymore. He did not care about the difference in cultivation base between the two of them and directly used his ability. This action caused many cultivators to reveal looks of disdain. Feng Qingyang is the patriarch of the Feng Shen sect, but he can't even get close to a void refinement stage cultivator. He even has to use his ability. How unexpected. It seems that this Feng Qingyang is not very strong. As a patriarch, is he qualified? It's chaotic now. Is Yi Chen too strong or is Feng Qingyang too weak? Hearing the ridicule from the crowd, Feng Qingyang was incomparably furious. As a patriarch, he was actually questioned by the crowd because of a brat. Such humiliation, if he did not take revenge today, he would not be a man. Brat, this old man will let you understand. Look carefully, this is the true great ability of the Feng Shen sect. Suddenly, energy gathered around Feng Qingyang. Endless energy turned into countless sword qi that took the shape of a sword. Between heaven and earth, sword qi whistled as if there were 10,000 swords at the same time, destroying everything. Wow! Everyone felt the power of the endless sword qi and exclaimed. This power was completely different from the previous people of the Feng Shen sect. Even the ability of the Feng Shen sect's patriarch, Feng Yun, was so weak before Feng Qingyang. This Feng Qingyang doesn't care about his reputation at all. He's going to kill Yi Chen. If that's the case, won't Yi Chen die for sure? This is unbelievable. The Feng Shen sect's patriarch actually went to such an extent to kill a void refinement stage cultivator. Yi Chen is too strong. Everyone finally understood Yi Chen's strength. He was strong enough to make a patriarch use his ultimate ability. Even if he died, his reputation would spread far and wide. Sigh, fellow Yi, why don't you admit defeat and apologize to the senior? We can talk more easily. That's right, fellow Yi, don't force yourself. You can't be a match for the Fengshen sect's patriarch. In order to invite Yi Chen to Fengshen sect, the emissary of Dawei City had put in a lot of effort. It was not easy to find such a good seedling. If he died here, it would be too much of a pity. I appreciate the two seniors' good intentions, but this old thing insists on causing trouble. There's nothing I can do. Under everyone's gaze, Yi Chen flew up. His entire body was surrounded by ancient god power, and the meridians in his body rumbled. He was ready to fight to the death with the Fengshen sect's patriarch. Don't say any more, otherwise don't blame me for being merciless. Seeing that the two emissaries kept trying to save Yi Chen, the Fengshen sect was very angry. Once Yi Chen really did as the emissaries said, it would be very difficult for him to kill Yi Chen directly. This was because he had to give the two emissaries some face because they represented the city governor's mansion of Dawei City. Sigh, looks like we can't persuade him anymore. Let's wait for the results. That's the only way. The two of them shook their heads and could only retreat to the side. The two of them were also afraid that the Fengshen sect would not recognize them and directly attack them. That would be troublesome. When the crowd saw that even the two emissaries of Dawei City did not dare to say anything, it was clear how powerful the Fengshen sect was. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. At this moment, endless sword chi surrounded the Fengshen sect's body. He was like a king's sword, and the surrounding swords had to submit to him. This was the supreme divine ability of the Fengshen sect, myriad swords only. Brat, your time of death has arrived. I want everyone to see you completely destroyed in my myriad sword formation. Good, good, good. The Fengshen sect's disciples immediately cheered. Finally, Yi Chen was going to be punished by the Fengshen sect. They had waited too long for this scene. Chapter 1889. 10,000 swords only. The powerful sword intent caused the wind and clouds to change. All of the swordsmen present felt their swords trembling non-stop. This was because of the powerful strength of the Fengshen ancestor, causing their swords to unconsciously submit. Unless it was a super divine weapon or a Buddhist law, it would be difficult to escape such a fate. Too powerful, as expected of the ancestor Fengshen. Although using such a divine ability against an outsider is a little too much, everything is about to end. Yi Chen is going to die in the hands of the ancestor. Such a divine ability already has the might of the heavens. The ancestor's strength is unfathomable. Yi Chen, a genius powerhouse, is he really going to fall just like that? In the air, many powerhouses looked at the battle platform, their emotions fluctuating. No one wanted to miss this scene. And, facing such a powerful divine ability, Yi Chen's eyes turned cold, and his expression became serious. The ancestor Fengshen's strength was indeed shocking, but how could he fall here? He still had something he had to do waiting for him. Unparalleled ancient god. Yi Chen activated the ancient god power to rush through the 8 extraordinary meridians, and the most primitive power in his body exploded at this moment. 33 days divine fist, heaven flipping seal, earth overturning seal, burning heaven palm, dragon capturing hand, life extermination finger, 5 gods return to 1, heaven and earth annihilation. Activating the 33 days divine fist, the 5 great divine fists merged into one. Instantly, the wind and clouds surged, the sun and moon lost their light, the universe was overturned, and the stars fell. Rumble! An incomparably huge fist light was supported by the power of the ancient god. This was an unprecedented combination of super divine fists. In this punch, it contained too many of Yi Chen's laws, too many divine abilities, too many thoughts. This was an awakening punch. Kill. Yi Chen flew up, not afraid of any sword chi attacking him, and directly rushed towards the ancestor Feng Shen. What? The ancestor Feng Shen was shocked. He never thought that there would be such a reckless person in the world. He did not care about being injured by the sword qi and was completely fighting with his life on the line. Ha ha, you want to intimidate me with such violence? Yi Chen, you're underestimating me. However, the ancestor laughed wildly. He did not expect that this old fellow was also a madman. He activated the supreme sword qi and turned it into a gigantic sword shape, directly suppressing Yi Chen. Die. Myriads only, / The grand sword shape was like a meteor falling into the world. Its powerful might had already surpassed the limits of the conjoint body realm. This was the strongest attack of the Feng Shen ancestor. Everyone did not know what to say anymore. There was no need to talk about the patriarch of Feng Shen's strength. However, Yi Chen, a late-stage void refinement stage cultivator, was able to make the patriarch of Feng Shen use his ultimate ability and even surpass his limits to fight. This was enough to show that Yi Chen was the most shocking person in this battle. Roar! At that moment, Yi Chen let out a deafening roar. Between heaven and earth, the 5 great divine fists suddenly turned into 5 ferocious beasts: dragon chimera, primordial demonic ape, sea-splitting mysterious dragon whale, crimson flame golden lion, and sky-devouring infinite centipede. Kacha, kacha, kacha! Although the boundless sword qi arrived, the 5 primordial ferocious beasts crazily devoured, tore, and destroyed everything in an instant. Boom, boom, boom! Under the violent impact of the energy, the sword qi shattered. Yi Chen stepped into the sky, high and mighty like a god. The one who destroyed is you, ancestor Feng Shen. Yi Chen made the final judgment. The primordial ferocious beast charged toward the patriarch in a frenzy. Huh! When the patriarch of Feng Shen saw that his supreme sword qi had been broken, his eyes revealed a look of fear. The dignity from before had completely disappeared, and he had turned into a weakling, almost unable to move. This scene shocked countless powerhouses. Yi Chen was too powerful. Not only did he destroy the patriarch of Feng Shen's divine ability, he also completely intimidated the patriarch. No! The patriarch let out a final roar as his body was torn apart by the 5 ferocious beasts in the air and destroyed. The patriarch of Feng Shen's clone was shattered. Patriarch? The people of the gate of Feng Shen were all stunned. They had completely lost all hope. The patriarch of Feng Shen, the strongest person in the gate of Feng Shen, was actually torn apart by Yi Chen. How exaggerated was this? If someone heard such a rumor, they would definitely think that it was made up, fabricated, and unreal. However, they were at the scene and saw everything. It was all true. The patriarch was dead. Dong dong dong. Many of the people of the gate of Feng Shen could not withstand such a blow and directly knelt on the ground. This. Feng Wei, who had wanted to target Yi Chen and take revenge on him, was currently in a mess. He kept retreating as he watched the fragments of the patriarch's body fall from the sky. This strange and terrifying scene almost made him go crazy. How is this possible? What did I see? Is he still human? He kept muttering to himself, obviously shocked. Yi Chen is too powerful. Even the patriarch is no match for Yi Chen. Yi Chen is invincible. An outsider is invincible in Feng State City. This is the first time I've heard of this. Many of the surrounding powerhouses were amazed by Yi Chen's strength. How could a mere late-stage void refinement cultivator be so powerful? They could not understand, but it did not matter. It was enough as long as they saw this scene. Countless independent cultivators cheered. They recognized Yi Chen and were amazed by him. They wanted to find their own world from Yi Chen's story. Yi Chen, Yi Chen, Yi Chen. The independent cultivators kept shouting Yi Chen's name. It seemed that as long as they continued to work hard, no matter what their identities were, they would always be able to get what they wanted. Yi Chen descended from the sky and took a deep breath. Following that, the surrounding space shook violently. The extremely powerful spiritual power that erupted after the patriarch of Fengshen's death was all absorbed by the void breaker beast and began to refine it. Who else from the house of Fengshen wants to challenge me? Yi Chen turned to look in the direction of the house of Fengshen and asked angrily. This. The people of the house of Fengshen were submissive. They did not dare to say anything else. They all lowered their heads and did not dare to move. Trash! Yi Chen shouted angrily and turned to leave. Ha ha, Senior Ye's martial arts are unparalleled. We'll cooperate. Senior Yi, since you've resolved your crisis, can you come with us to Dawei City? Seeing Yi Chen kill the patriarch of Fengshen with his own hands, the two Dawei City envoys admired him from the bottom of their hearts. They were extremely respectful and even addressed him as a senior. Yi Chen's status instantly rose. Even the envoys of Dawei City call Yi Chen senior. This is too scary. This Yi Chen has made a meteoric rise. Even if he goes to Dawei City, he'll probably be famous. How amazing! The crowd exclaimed again. Under everyone's gaze, the Dawei City envoys bowed respectfully to Yi Chen like an honored guest. Yes, since the matter in Feng State City is done, there's no harm in going to Dawei City. Yi Chen nodded. Naturally, the patriarch and Yi Wushuang had no objections. Chapter 1890. Under everyone's watchful eyes, Yi Chen had killed the patriarch of Fengshen. Such a feat would definitely become the most glorious page in the history of Feng State City. It would be remembered by future generations and even become a legend that would be passed down forever. Li clan, do you still want to fight me? Yi Chen looked at the last contestant of the Li clan, Li Yulong. Huh? Did this? Li Yulong was nervous and did not know how to respond. His Li clan was also a prestigious clan. If he gave up here, it would definitely have a bad impact. However, Yi Chen could kill the patriarch of Fengshen. Was he not courting death by accepting the challenge? Fellow Ye's martial arts are unparalleled. My Li clan is inferior. We admit defeat. Seeing that Li Yulong could not respond, an old man from the Li clan stepped forward and bowed in response. Very good. Yi Chen nodded slightly. He did not want to fight anymore because these people were not worthy of his attention. Yi Chen wins and wins the final championship. Feng Wei saw that the situation was hopeless, so he took advantage of the situation and announced that Yi Chen had won the final championship. Ha ha ha, fellow Yi did it. The patriarch was overjoyed. Yi Wushuang also revealed a long-lost smile. Yi Chen walked to Bai Hua. Brother Bai, I've done what I promised your Bai clan. If there's nothing else, we'll set off. Thank you, Brother Yi. Brother Yi is truly a god. I, Bai Hua, am blessed to be able to meet Brother Yi in this life. Bai Hua bowed slightly. You're too kind. Since there's nothing else, I won't disturb you. After Yi Chen finished speaking, he turned around and returned to the side of the patriarch and Wushuang. At this moment, two envoys from Dawei City arrived. Senior Yi, since everything has been settled, shall we depart today? Sure. Thank you, Senior Yi. We'll immediately arrange a ride for you and these two. With that, the number one envoy waved his hand. The people from Dawei City behind him stepped forward and gave Yi Chen and the other two an astral sword boat. After receiving the sword boat, Yi Chen released energy. The sword boat kept growing, and Yi Chen and the other two sat on it. Under the guidance of the emissary of Great Might City, the group traversed thousands of mountains and rivers. After a long and arduous journey of 20 hours, they finally saw Great Might City. Senior Yi, Great Might City is the capital city directly under the Imperial City in the spirit world. Naturally, the conditions in Great Might City are incomparable to Feng State City. This time, the city lord is sincerely recruiting talented people. That's right, Senior Yi. Recently, there's news from the Imperial City that they want to organize an elite army of cultivators to deal with the devil race. This is a good opportunity. Along the way, the two envoys passed on a lot of information about Great Might City and the dynasty. Yi Chen understood that as long as the three of them obtained this opportunity, Great Might City would benefit as well, especially the city governor's mansion. They might be rewarded by the imperial city for recommending talents. Since that's the case, I hope the two envoys can help introduce us to the city lord. We will definitely do our best, Yi Chen said. Of course, he wanted to use the resources of Great Might City to develop himself. Due to the existence of the Skybreaker beast, Yi Chen's demand for spirit stones had increased exponentially. Moreover, the patriarch of Yi Chen's advancement to the body integration stage and Wu Shuang's extraordinary constitution of the Heavenly Emperor's sword required a large amount of cultivation resources. Who would be the sucker? The city governor's mansion before him was the best choice. Don't worry, Senior Yi. The city lord loves to befriend powerhouses. With Senior Ye's strength, it won't be a problem. That's right. If it weren't for Senior Yi, we would have returned empty-handed. That would have been punished. Therefore, we must do our best for Senior Yi and the other two. Yi Chen nodded slightly when he saw that the two did not seem to have any bad intentions. They were just planning something. Great Might City was heavily guarded, much stricter than Feng State City. Not only were there tall city walls and powerful formations, but even the guards had high cultivation bases. The lowest cultivation base was at beginner void refinement. This was terrifying. The leader of the guards bowed when he saw the tokens of the two envoys. Then, he opened the city gate. Under the envoy's lead, Yi Chen and the other two entered Great Might City. Great Might City lived up to its name as the capital city surrounding the imperial city. Today, Yi Chen saw a large road that stretched 1,000 miles. He saw that the road stretched for hundreds of miles. There were various shops on both sides of the road, and various divine weapons shone brightly. It was a breathtaking sight. Passing through the downtown area, Yi Chen and the other two became the focus of attention along the way. Many people did not know where these three came from. They did not seem to have a high cultivation base, but it was strange that the envoy from the city governor's mansion bowed and led them. When they arrived at the city governor's mansion, Yi Chen saw a scene that was similar to Feng State City. It was overcrowded with many powerhouses. Envoy, does this have something to do with the elite team to fight against the demon clan that you mentioned? Yi Chen's observation skills were extremely strong. He saw through the clues at a glance. Senior Yi is truly a genius. You knew the key to this even without our introduction. I'm impressed. The two of them responded with smiles. These people are here for the recruitment. However, the elite demon slaying team is an order from the Imperial City. Those who participate will be rewarded handsomely. Of course, the selection rules are naturally strict. Not everyone can be selected easily. These people are basically a motley crew. There are almost no true powerhouses, so how can the city governor take a liking to them? It's just that many of them are persistent and want to move the city governor with their sincerity. That's too laughable. The two envoys looked at the crowd in the distance with disdain. Seeing Yi Chen and the two envoys walking over, many powerhouses surrounded them. Lord Envoy, Lord Envoy. The people walking in front were all fusion stage powerhouses. Although they had just achieved fusion stage, Yi Chen could sense that their energy was not inferior to the Patriarch of Hell. The envoy did not take a liking to such people. It was clear that the elite team this time was not simple. Everyone, what's the matter? The number one envoy asked. Lord Envoy, we've been waiting here for more than 3 days, but there's no news from the city governor's mansion. What's going on? Yes, a few days ago, we heard that the Lord Envoy went to Feng State City to select talents. Did you come back from there? That's right. The number one envoy seemed arrogant facing these people. Yi Chen smirked inwardly. I wonder if you found suitable candidates? One of them asked. What do you guys think? As he spoke, The number one envoy looked at Yi Chen and the other two. The few fusion stage powerhouses who were walking in front looked at Yi Chen and the other two with disdain. Lord Envoy, are you kidding? Just these 3 people? What's wrong? Sensing the other party's doubt, the number one envoy revealed a displeased expression. Ha ha, Lord Envoy, forgive us for offending you. If these 3 pieces of trash could be invited, we would have entered the city governor's mansion long ago, right? As soon as he said that, Yi Chen and the other two erupted with killing intent. End of this chapter. Chapter 1891. So what if you're a body integration cultivator? Yi Chen asked coldly as he faced the 3 body integration stage cultivators. Those body integration stage beings were instantly enraged by this question. This was clearly a provocation. Brat, a mere spatial tempering stage cultivator dares to criticize a body integration stage cultivator? What's more, you're outsiders. Since you've ascended to the spiritual realm, you should know how to behave. The leading conjoint body cultivator stepped forward and scolded Yi Chen. True strength is not just limited to one's cultivation level. Ha ha, this is the first time I've heard of such a statement. Since when did one's realm not represent one's strength? That's right, ha ha. The conjoint body cultivators at the side burst out laughing as if mocking Yi Chen for being a country bumpkin. Some cultivators even shouted, "Country bumpkin, go home and farm." Immediately there was even more laughter. The emissary of Great Might City couldn't hold it in any longer. Don't mess around. These 2 are experts we invited from Fengzhou City. Get out of the way. Great Envoy, I'm not used to hearing your words. Fengzhou City is just a small city in the frontier fortress. How can there be any experts there? We have been waiting outside the city lord's mansion for a long time, but we haven't been summoned by the city lord. You actually invited people from Fengzhou City to see the city lord. How can we accept this? Yes, we don't accept this. In an instant, many cultivators stepped forward to stop Yi Chen and the others, preventing them from entering the city governor's residence. The situation had exceeded the 2 envoys' expectations. They looked at Yi Chen with a troubled expression. These body integration cultivators gathered at the entrance of the city lord's manor weren't completely clueless. They were all guests of the general's mansion. Otherwise, they wouldn't have dared to be so rude to the envoy. Everyone, if you're not satisfied, please wait for the city lord's judgment. Don't cause trouble. Number 1 emissary said impatiently. Lord Emissary, we are all people of the general's mansion. Aren't you afraid of the general's anger by treating us like this? The leading body integration cultivator looked at the envoy coldly, seemingly unafraid of the city lord manor's might. What do you all want? Asked the second emissary. It's very simple. They have to prove that they have the strength to enter the city lord's mansion and join the elite exorcist team. How can I prove it? It's simple. The 3 of them will come at me together. If they can withstand one of my attacks, I will let them pass. The body integration cultivator was very confident, and the people around him immediately applauded. Great, this group of foreign country bumpkins must be scared silly, right? The body integration cultivators in the spirit realm are completely different from those in the spirit realm, haha. Really 3 pieces of trash, don't dare to accept the challenge? Yi Chen and the other 2 were infuriated as they echoed. Fellow Taoist Yi, I didn't expect the people of the spiritual realm to be so rude. If we don't show them what we're capable of, I'm afraid they won't be able to recognize you. The old ancestor smiled. That's true. Yi Chen nodded. Do the 3 of you dare to accept the challenge? The cultivator asked. Not the 3 of us, but the 3 of you. Yi Chen stepped forward and pointed at the body integration cultivators. The troublemaker had a cold look on his face. He didn't expect the other party to be so arrogant and dare to challenge all 3 of them. Since you're so arrogant this time, we won't hold back either. Yes, there's no need for us to be polite. Who needs your courtesy? Hurry up and die. Don't waste our time. What did you say? Hearing this, the cultivators were instantly enraged. The two emissaries revealed a troubled look. They had seen Yi Chen's arrogance and unruly in Feng State City. However, when a spirit realm cultivator ascended to the spirit realm, his foundation was not stable. Such arrogance might cause problems. For example, although the two of them acknowledged Yi Chen's strength, it was too exaggerated for one person to fight against three body integration cultivators in the spirit realm. One should know that Yi Chen's cultivation base was only at the advanced void refinement stage, while the three outer shells of the general's mansion before them were all at the intermediate body integration stage. Logically speaking, the gap between them and Yi Chen was absolutely obvious. Under such conditions, one person challenging three people was an act of courting death. What should we do? The second emissary looked at the first emissary and said, "There's no other way. Yi Chen took the initiative to challenge those three people. We can only watch." The two emissaries did not participate and were just spectators. If Yi Chen really died here, it could only be fate. On the main road, the three body integration cultivators looked at Yi Chen coldly, then looked at each other and revealed a sinister smile. Clatter, clatter, clatter. Soon, many cultivators in the surroundings also came over to watch the show. Initially, this assistant forming an elite team had nothing to do with them. However, they would not miss out on a good show. A void refinement stage cultivator challenging three body integration cultivators. This kid is crazy. Spirit realm cultivators are really idiots. Let alone three body integration cultivators. Any one of them would be able to kill him with ease, right? Many passers-by shook their heads. They thought that Yi Chen was a person who could even throw away his own life for the sake of showing off. Such a person was like mud in the spirit realm and would not receive anyone's sympathy. Ha ha, this is going to be fun. Many people revealed mocking expressions. They were watching with the attitude of watching a monkey show. At this moment, Yi Chen walked forward and locked his cold eyes on the three people. "Don't waste time. Come at me together," he said coldly. Although everyone thought that Yi Chen was just bluffing, when a void refinement stage cultivator who had ascended from the spirit realm said such words, where did their dignity go? The three of them revealed expressions of anger. If they did not kill the person before them this time, they would no longer have the face to stay in Great Might City. Since he wants the three of us to fight him together, we won't be bullying him if we attack him together. Let's attack together. Alright. The three of them exchanged glances. It was obvious that they wanted to take Yi Chen's life. Kill. The three of them released their abilities at the same time. However, the space shook violently. Waves of powerful spiritual power gathered into a sharp blade and stabbed directly at Yi Chen's chest. Everyone was shocked. They did not expect the three of them to really kill him. Not only did they join forces, but they also used such a killing ability. They wanted to kill him with a single strike. Senior Yi, this. The two envoys looked worried. They did not know Yi Chen that well. To them, Yi Chen would definitely die this time. Their efforts would even be wasted. However, Yi Chen roared and ancient god power flowed through his body. Rays of golden light bloomed from his meridians. He was like a bronze statue, indestructible. Rumble! At this moment, the killing blades of the three-body integration cultivators had arrived before Yi Chen. Kill! Die! The three of them pushed the sharp blade at the same time and stabbed it at Yi Chen's chest. They hoped to kill him with a single strike and get back at him. End of this chapter. Chapter 1892. Clang. Just as the psionic blade was about to pierce Yi Chen, a powerful golden light suddenly erupted from Yi Chen's body. The advancing psionic blade could not move forward no matter how hard it tried. There was even the sound of metal clashing. What? The three of them were shocked at the same time and locked their eyes on Yi Chen. They could not imagine how the psionic blade condensed by the three of them could not pierce Yi Chen's body. Ha ha! You want to kill me with this little ability? Yi Chen laughed maniacally like a god of war. The three of them used all their strength, trying to break through Yi Chen's protective barrier, but it was useless. How could a mere fusion stage person break through the ancient god power? Qi construct recoil. Following that, there was a cold shout. Qi construct gathered in Yi Chen's body and shot out. Rumble! The powerful ancient god power instantly sent the three of them flying 10 meters away. Ah! As the screams rang out, the three of them fell to the ground one after another. Some of them could not even control their bodies and their limbs were facing the sky. That posture was utterly humiliating. Ah! The spectators were dumbfounded. They wanted to see the arrogant outsider die here, but the result they saw was the three outer shells of the general's residence being sent flying. This scene was too shocking. What happened? Why is Yi Chen fine but the three of them were sent flying? I didn't see it clearly either. I only saw the golden light bloom, and then the three of them were sent flying. This Yi Chen seems to have a diamond body. The energy blade can't pierce through. This phenomenon shows that this person is extraordinary. Facts spoke louder than words. The result before them completely showed that Yi Chen's strength was above the three of them. Now they had no reason to stop Yi Chen. Ah! At this moment, the number 1 emissary walked forward with a smile. Do you have any more questions? He asked the three people who had fallen to the ground. No problem. The three of them stammered and nodded. The combined strength of the three of them was easily resolved by Yi Chen. In other words, it was too easy for Yi Chen to kill them. They were not fools to die. Senior Yi, please. The number 1 emissary stepped forward and made an inviting gesture. When everyone heard the emissary call Yi Chen senior, they were shocked. They did not expect Yi Chen's status and strength to be so powerful. Many cultivators in the general's residence left. After entering the city governor's residence, the number 1 messenger brought Yi Chen and the other two to meet the city governor. In a large hall, the city lord came out to welcome them. Da. The sound of footsteps rang out. Yi Chen looked to the front and saw a person walking straight toward him. His figure was majestic and his footsteps were steady. He exuded an otherworldly aura that was shocking. This is our city lord, Bu Changqing. Greetings, city lord. The three of them bowed at the same time. No need to be so polite. I'm very pleased that the three of you could come to my residence as guests. Bu Changqing smiled at the three of them. He was approachable and did not put on any airs. This made Yi Chen lower his guard slightly. After entering the residence, everyone took their seat. City Governor, why did you form such an elite team? Yi Chen asked. Right now, the demonic calamity is happening everywhere. They are killing people and plundering their goods. There is nothing that they will not commit. As a martial cultivator, as well as the city lord of Great Might City, I will naturally not watch with folded arms. This time around, I have formed an elite squad with the intention of taking down all of the demon clan's nests around Great Might City in one fell swoop. Do the three of you have the courage to participate? The city governor looked at Yi Chen and the other two after he was done speaking. Why wouldn't I dare? I wonder what kind of reward the city governor's mansion will give us. There's no problem with the reward. Just name it. I, Bu Changqing, will not refuse. Since the city governor is so generous, we won't be unreasonable. We've just entered the spiritual realm and are very unfamiliar with the environment and cultivation here. Please give us sufficient cultivation resources, city governor. This is a small matter. Since I've invited you to join the elite squad, of course, I won't mistreat you. Go and get ready. Yes. Messenger number 2 accepted the order, nodded slightly, and left. I wonder what the situation is like around Great Might City. Is it similar to around Fengzhou City? Yi Chen asked. This was information that he had to know before joining the elite squad. After all, Yi Chen had to be responsible for the Patriarch and Wushuang. Although there are demons from the Demon Eye Mountain around Fengzhou City, they can't compare to Great Might City. The demons here came directly from the demonic realm. Demonic realm? Yi Chen was slightly stunned when he heard about the demonic realm. He remembered that people from the demonic realm had descended directly into Great Might City. Rumor has it that it's not easy for people from the demonic realm to adapt to the human spiritual land. City Governor, is there something different about these demons? That's right, these demons are evolved species. Evolved species? Yi Chen was even more surprised. He did not expect the city governor to come up with an evolved species. This made him feel a little fierce. These evolved species are far more powerful than ordinary species. Not only do their offensive abilities soar, but their defensive abilities are also extremely strong. Ordinary weapons can't hurt them at all. Therefore, for the sake of the demon-slaying mission, the city governor's mansion has used special divine weapons to deal with these demons. Special divine weapons? That's right, it's a demon-slayer weapon. Bu Zhangqing waved his hand and a few cultivators appeared with the demon-slayer weapon. Yi Chen saw a spear in their hands. The spear's entire body radiated with silver light. It contained the spiritual qi of heaven and earth, and the essence of the sun and moon. At the same time, it was made of several hundred-years-old cold iron, so its power was naturally extraordinary. Zing! Yi Chen took the spear and waved it like the wind. He was very satisfied. Ha ha ha, since fellow Yi wants this spear, I'll give it to you. This, Yi Chen did not expect the city governor to be so polite to give him such a divine weapon. He turned his head to look at the Patriarch and Wushuang. Would these two also get divine weapons? Naturally, Bu Zhangqing saw through his thoughts and continued, "You don't have to worry. We'll provide these two with different tailor-made divine weapons. Please wait patiently." "Don't worry, such a small matter doesn't make me nervous," the Patriarch replied. Wushuang nodded slightly. Such confidence made Bu Zhangqing feel a glimmer of hope. The demons have been rampant for a long time. They've caused the villages, farms, and expansion of production around David City to become extremely dilapidated. If I don't take revenge, how can I face the people of David City? The city governor is benevolent. I'll definitely succeed, Yi Chen said. Whether it succeeds or not doesn't depend on me. It depends on all of you. Clack, clack, clack. At this moment, messenger number 2 brought a few boxes up. The Patriarch looked surprised and hurried forward. He opened the boxes and saw that they were all sparkling spirit stones. These spirit stones at the lowest level were dozens of times more effective than the top-grade spirit stones in Fengzhou City. How is it? Is it enough for your cultivation? Bu Zhangqing asked. We admire the city governor's generosity. Yi Chen stood up and bowed. With so many cultivation resources, he was going to break through today. End of this chapter. Chapter 1893. The envoy of Dawei City brought Yi Chen to a high-class guest room. Then, the three of them began their journey of breaking through with the cultivation resources provided by the governor. Yi Chen sat cross-legged in the room. His entire body was enveloped in psionic power. With the powerful ancient god body, Yi Chen could absorb more than 100 times more spirit stones than an ordinary person. Roar! At this moment, the silhouette of the Void Breaker beast appeared behind him. Rumble! The entire space was trembling. After this period of time, the void-splitting beast had grown even stronger. Hiss, hiss, hiss! The top-grade spirit stones in front of Yi Chen kept emitting spiritual light. The Void Breaker beast absorbed the psionic power in a frenzy. Phew! Yi Chen let out a long breath. His entire body entered a state of concentration. His 8 extraordinary meridians opened and his bones and muscles trembled. Roar! The Void Breaker beast opened its huge mouth. The energy of the spirit stones flowed into Yi Chen's body like a tidal wave. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. As the energy density was too high, electricity appeared on Yi Chen's body. His body entered a high-energy state and became extremely unstable. Yi Chen's eyes kept moving. The psionic power in his meridians surged wildly. Ancient God Heart Technique. Using the Ancient God Heart Technique, Yi Chen guided the psionic power absorbed by the Void Breaker Beast to flow through his body. Rumble. An ordinary person's meridians would not be able to withstand such a violent surge of energy. However, with the ancient god body, Yi Chen could endure it. Following that, he felt extreme pain all over his body. It was too difficult for him to break through. Because his foundation was too strong, each breakthrough became extremely difficult. He had to absorb energy that was thousands of times more than an ordinary person to surpass his current level. Roar! The Void Breaker Beast roared. Yi Chen's body entered its ultimate state. The ocean of vital energy surged. The ancient god body refinement technique. Yi Chen's body seemed to become transparent. This shocked even Yi Chen himself. What is this? He sensed the movement of a strange force, and he could almost see the entire structure of his body. Golden glaze body. A strange term suddenly appeared in his mind. This shocked Yi Chen. He did not think that the ancient god body could continue to evolve. This was too strange. The ancient god body was an existence that surpassed the holy body in this world, but it was still evolving. Rumble. It was as if a dragon was roaring in his meridians, and spiritual energy began to surge. The appearance of the golden glazed body meant that Yi Chen's cultivation base had risen from the advanced void refinement stage to the peak of the void refinement stage. Although it was only an increase of a minor level, which was nothing to most geniuses, to Yi Chen, it was something to be happy about. This was because the increase in his strength was not just a minor level but a qualitative leap. Boom! Zzz. As the heavens and earth shook, a beam of golden light shot into the sky, triggering a strange phenomenon. This massive tremor was so powerful that it almost shook the entire city lord's mansion. The city lord and the envoys all went out to look at the sky. At this moment, the night sky was illuminated by this golden light as if it were daytime. The heavenly stars grew dim, the moon without light. There was only a streak of golden light. This was precisely the supreme being in the night sky, shocking everyone. This is? The city lord stared blankly at the golden light. He didn't know what was going on. City governor, that seems to be Yi Chen's residence. Number 1 emissary said in a trembling voice. Yi Chen. The city lord turned pale with fright and hurriedly flew up to the pavilion. At a glance, it was indeed Yi Chen's residence. Ha ha ha, envoy, you found a god for me this time. Such a shocking phenomenon, this person is extraordinary. The city lord was overjoyed. He had long wanted to set up a team of his own. In order to achieve this wish, he had recruited people and recruited talents from everywhere. However, the people from the general's mansion were one step ahead of him every time. They would either return empty-handed or find some mediocre people. This time, he was really lucky to be able to find a god like Yi Chen. Haha, it's all thanks to the city lord that we've found a genius like Yi Chen this time. Our elite Demon Slayer team will definitely achieve something and defeat the General's Mansion in the future Demon Slayer competition. Haha, of course. As he spoke, excitement appeared on the city lord's face. This year's Demon Slayer competition was about to begin. Moreover, this time, it was hosted by the 7th Prince of the Imperial City. It was a good opportunity to show off. He looked in the direction that Yi Chen had pointed out, and there was an impulse gathering in his heart. At this moment, Yi Chen was wholeheartedly focused on breaking through to the next level. He, who had advanced to peak void refinement, had improved his foundation beyond imagination. The golden glazed body made his body abnormally smooth. His meridians were like the sea, and his spiritual power was like wave. It was a feeling that he had never felt before. Moreover, he felt that his body had become stronger than before. He even felt like he had evolved into a higher form. With a leap, he soared into the sky. Like a fiery meteor, he soared into the sky and instantly arrived above the clouds. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The wind in the surrounding space kept attacking. This was the phenomenon caused by Yi Chen's golden glazed body. These wind could completely cut the bodies of ordinary fusion stage cultivators, making them feel as if they were being cut by thousands of knives. It was unbearable pain. However, when Yi Chen entered the Qi Feng, it felt like a gentle breeze caressing his face. That comfortable feeling made Yi Chen feel great. This is awesome. It was Yi Chen's first time feeling so refreshed. The spiritual power in his body also changed at the same time and became domineering energy. Roar! With a dragon's roar, Yi Chen soared again and reached a new height. Rumble! Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle! At this moment, the heaven and earth thunder and lightning attacked Yi Chen. Ha, good one! Yi Chen was not afraid of the power of the heavenly tribulation lightning. The void breaker beast behind him absorbed the power of the lightning. That was right. The heavenly tribulation lightning that could destroy an ordinary cultivator was like a dessert to Yi Chen. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The endless thunder divine power was absorbed by Yi Chen. With the golden glazed body and the peak supreme devouring mageweth, Yi Chen's body that had just broken through devoured the power crazily. He needed power to fill his newly developed foundation. Ha, I'm the only one in this world. Yi Chen stretched out his psyche body and produced endless domineering energy. With a strong foundation, it wreaked havoc in the sky. Rumble! The entire city governor's mansion was surrounded by lightning and thunder. Many powerhouses came out to see the phenomenon. What is this? It's too terrifying! No, look, there's a person at the highest point in the sky. Finally, some powerhouses realized that there was a person standing in the middle of the heaven and earth divine thunder. They were completely shocked. This level of divine thunder was not seen in 100 years. Even a peak fusion stage cultivator would die on the spot when surrounded by divine thunder. However, there was someone standing in it as if he was taking a bath. This was too ridiculous. End of this chapter. Chapter 1894. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Ah! With a furious roar, Yi Chen released a glazed golden light under the violent bombardment of thousands of divine lightning bolts. An ancient god's shadow appeared behind him. Boom! The power of an ancient god filled the world. Humans and gods were frightened and the world shook. Who is this person? How could he possess such shocking might? An expert asked. Ha, everyone, this person is one of the new elite squad members that I've sent people to find. Bu Chongqing revealed a proud expression as he looked at the crowd's shocked questions. He hadn't been so happy in a long time. Ever since the general's residence was established in Great Might City, the city lord's residence had been suppressed. This was a well-known fact. Seeing that Bu Chongqing was in a good mood, everyone stepped forward to congratulate him. Congratulations to the city lord for obtaining such an outstanding talent. The elite team will definitely be able to obtain victory in the devil-slaying competition and win the favor of the Imperial City's envoy. That's right, City Lord. This time, with the combined strength of our 3 armies, we will definitely win. We admire the City Lord's foresight. Many experts came forward to express their gratitude. However, many of them didn't feel the same way. Their own strength and talent weren't enough, so they didn't want the newcomer to be someone with both talent and strength. One of them glared at Yi Chen, who was in the sky ferociously, revealing a sinister expression. At that moment, Yi Chen descended from the sky and returned to his residence. All right, disperse. Yes. Everyone obeyed the city lord's command and dispersed. Envoy. Here. Pick a treasure from the treasure vault immediately and give it to Yi Chen. Yes. The number 1 emissary quickly made his way to the city lord's treasury. At that moment, Yi Chen, who had returned to his residence, was radiating with golden light like a golden god of war. The increase in strength after this breakthrough had far exceeded Yi Chen's expectations. Clearly, after cultivating the ancient god body, his cultivation path was completely different from ordinary people. As his cultivation deepened, this difference might become greater and greater. Boom! At this moment, a rumble came from Patriarch Yellow Spring's residence at the same time. Yi Chen walked out of the door and looked in the direction of the Patriarch of Hell. He discovered that above the old ancestor's house, purple multicolored light filled the skies. The energy of the Yellow Springs turned into clouds and mists, continuously circling about, moving about like flood dragons. It was extremely shocking. Looks like the Patriarch has already reached the mid-body integration stage. Yi Chen nodded lightly. After waiting for about 15 minutes, the Patriarch flew out. Ah! As he laughed, his figure constantly teleported. His movement technique was clearly much stronger than before. Fellow Taoist Yi, fellow Taoist Yi. He saw Yi Chen immediately. Patriarch, how is it? Yi Chen asked. How can I hide this from you? After making a breakthrough to the conjoint body integration realm intermediate stage, I've been feeling extremely refreshed, and I really miss the ecstasy of bliss. Thus, I've decided to do something good. Do something good? Yi Chen looked confused, but he soon understood because he saw the Patriarch's face blushing. This old man was obviously plotting something. Since that was the case, Yi Chen did not want to disturb the Patriarch, so he nodded slightly. Ha ha ha, a tacit understanding. After saying that, the Patriarch flew out of the city lord's mansion and flew towards a place of feasting and debauchery. Yi Chen looked at Wushuang's residence and saw Sword Qi soaring into the sky, responding to the 7 stars. Zzz. The 7-star light was triggered by the sword gleam and shone into Yi Wushuang's body. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Endless sword qi surrounded Yi Wushuang's body. Ever since he activated the Heavenly Emperor Sword Spirit Body, Yi Wushuang's comprehension of the sword had skyrocketed. Now, he could easily control the sword qi with his divine telekinesis. It was difficult to control the sword with one's heart. At that moment, Yi Wushuang's divine telekinesis was in the sword, and the sword qi flew rapidly, shocking all directions. Great! Yi Chen cheered and subsequently entered the sword formation. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Yi Wushuang's sword qi was extremely sharp as it charged at Yi Chen. Yi Chen smiled lightly and released the golden glaze body. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The sword qi soared into the sky and triggered the 7-star light. It descended again and charged at Yi Chen. Yi Chen shouted coldly. The golden glaze body radiated and absorbed the sword qi forcefully. The ancient god body was like a furnace. The powerful refining power made Yi Wushuang's sword qi uncontrollable. What? Yi Wushuang's divine telekinesis was controlled by Yi Chen instantly. Can you break through this? Yi Chen's voice transmission entered Yi Wushuang's ears. Yes. Yi Wushuang replied. Subsequently, the Heavenly Emperor's sword appeared behind him. The powerful sword qi charged at Yi Chen like a raging sea. In the outer courtyard, Yi Chen stood on a sword gleam and spun. At that moment, the 7-star sword qi was still circulating in Yi Chen's body. It was trying to break through the meridian limit and soar into the sky again. However, the Heavenly Emperor's sword was Yi Chen's life-divine weapon. It was connected to his bloodline. In other words, Yi Chen had instinctive control over the sword qi. That was why Yi Wushuang's divine telekinesis was controlled. Yi Chen wanted to see Yi Wushuang break through to train the Heavenly Emperor's sword spirit psyche. Such training could strengthen the Heavenly Emperor's sword's resistance if it was tainted by some kind of mind in the future. 7-star Emperor Light. Yi Wushuang absorbed the power of the supreme-grade spirit stones on the table and kept triggering the heavenly starlight. Buzz buzz buzz. The starlight flowed on Yi Wuxuang's body, and the sword's spirit mark appeared between his brows. At that moment, Yi Wuxuang seemed to be possessed by the sword god. His aura changed drastically. Ah! He flew out of the house and soared into the sky. Buzz, buzz, buzz! At that moment, the seven-star light shone on him. It was as if the sword god had descended with unstoppable might. Great! Yi Chen was overjoyed. As expected, Yi Wuxuang did not disappoint him. Come! Kill! Yi Wuxuang's eyes were sharp. He triggered the seven-star Emperor Light and consolidated the supreme sword form to suppress Yi Chen. Yi Chen did not dare to be careless when he sensed the powerful suppression in Yi Wuxuang's sword qi. Ancient god power exploded from the meridian in his body. At the same time, the sword qi that Yi Chen had restrained earlier was released. However, it was connected to Yi Chen's mind and turned into his sword qi. Buzz, buzz, buzz! Two peerless sword qi met in the sky. One was formed by the seven-star Emperor Light, while the other was formed by Yi Chen's ancient god power. They were both supreme grade. Rumble! The sword qi collided in the sky and cancelled each other out. It caused the space to shake and the universe to flip. The surrounding rocks crumbled and the ground cracked. The tremors within 100 miles were terrifying. Great! Yi Chen was overjoyed. Yi Wuxuang's sword technique had improved qualitatively compared to before. Meanwhile, the spiritual connection between him and Yi Wuxuang had become closer. The latter was what Yi Chen valued more. The Heavenly Emperor's sword was his life-divine weapon. Their fates were connected and their lives were the same. Master! Yi Wuxuang was happy too. He could only stay by Yi Chen's side and even protect Yi Chen when he had more power. Wuxuang, it seems like the spiritual realm is much more powerful than the spiritual realm. Our cultivation base has improved by leaps and bounds here. Yes. Chapter 1895. In the General's residence of Dawei City. General, the latest news is that such a phenomenon has been discovered in the city governor's residence. A powerhouse entered the main hall and bowed. He then took out a jade slip from his sleeve. He crushed the jade slip and a strange light appeared. Meanwhile, it was the heaven and earth phenomenon that Yi Chen had triggered earlier in the light. What's going on? The city governor's residence managed to invite such a powerhouse? A tall man in armor stood in front of him. He was the general of Dawei City's imperial city, He Ding. General, the Demon Slayer contest is being supervised by the imperial city's envoy. There can't be any mistakes. I wonder if these foreign guests will cause any problems? Have you found out about these people? There are 3 people in the city governor's residence. Our informants have reported that they ascended from the soul stage. Their cultivation bases aren't high, but one of them is called Yi Chen. His strength is shocking. Shocking strength? Ha! I'd like to see how powerful he is. Soul stage cultivators who want to ascend have to pass the ascension tribulation. Even so, I don't care. But these 3 people aren't at the ascension tribulation. Not at the ascension tribulation? He Ding squinted his eyes and continued. Then they must have come from a special passage. There's no need to worry. He smirked. As long as they were not ascension tribulation almighties, what did He Ding have to fear? Go and supervise the training of the powerhouses in the general's residence. Tell them to work harder, and they'll be rewarded handsomely. However, if anyone slacks and doesn't meet the standards, kick them out immediately. Yes, General. The man nodded and left. He Ding felt uneasy when he recalled the phenomenon he had seen. Who is this person? Such a phenomenon would only happen when a body integration powerhouse breaks through, but this person is only at the void refinement stage. This is too strange. Hiss, hiss, hiss. Suddenly, a cloud of black mist appeared in front of him. He Ding's heart skipped a beat. Welcome, Sir Envoy. He hurried forward and bowed. He Ding, how are the preparations for the Devil Slayer competition in Great Might City? You should know very well that the devil world is getting restless. They've already broken through the limits of time and space, and are having a huge impact on the spirit world. The Spirit Emperor is very concerned about the Devil Slayer competition. Lord Emissary, the arrangements for the devil slaying competition in Great Might City are going smoothly. I will do my best to complete the task assigned to me by Emperor Ling. It's good that you know your responsibility. Spirit Emperor can't wait any longer. He needs the strongest cultivators to have a real battle with the people of the demon world. People from the devil world really came to the spiritual world? You don't need to know so much. You're only responsible for selecting talent. Remember, don't be too concerned about a cultivator's background. What we need is strength. Understood. He bowed again and watched the envoy leave. After the emissary left, he furrowed his brows. It seemed like the emissary was still worried about him. In the end, the emissary warned him not to place too much importance on one's background. He was hinting that the people of the general's mansion might not be able to meet the requirements of the Spirit Emperor. Since that's the case, I'd like to see who in Great Might City can organize a team that's stronger than my general's mansion. With that, he sat down cross-legged to regulate his breathing. He was already a full fusion cultivator and was waiting to ascend. Once he did so, he would have the right to enter the imperial city and become an imperial guard. This was the dream of countless cultivators. In the city governor's mansion, Yi Chun and the other two continued to cultivate. One by one, they broke through their limits and reached higher attainment levels. Among them, Yi Chun was the one who improved the fastest. Although he had only advanced a minor level, the growth of his foundation was stronger than the average person who had advanced a major level. One day, the city governor personally came to visit. Fellow Yi. Bu Zhangqing walked forward and bowed to Yi Chen. Yi Chen nodded slightly. This person had come to see their cultivation progress. Fellow Yi, has your cultivation been smooth recently? Please provide us with sufficient cultivation resources, city governor. Don't worry about that, Fellow Yi. Our city governor's mansion has never lacked cultivation resources. As he spoke, Bu Zhangqing sized Yi Chen up and noticed that there was an invisible aura on Yi Chen's body that gave people great pressure. Even as an early body integration stage cultivator, he was astonished by this burst of pressure. Fellow Yi, there's a requirement for the devil-slaying tournament this time. Requirement? Yi Chen looked at Bu Zhangqing. He had not made this clear before. Seeing that Yi Chen seemed displeased, Bu Zhangqing hurriedly said, "This requirement is for you, Fellow Yi. In order to select the most talented people, there's an age requirement for the devil-slaying tournament this time." What requirement? Under 50 years old. Hearing this, Yi Chen smirked and did not respond. Fellow Yi, of the two people you've brought to the devil-slaying tournament this time, the young man can participate, but let's forget about the old man. The three of us have come together. How can we let it go just because you say so? Yi Chen replied coldly, causing Bu Zhangqing's heart to tremble. That invisible pressure made it difficult for him to breathe. Fellow Yi, I'm telling you this not because I want to stop that old man from participating in the battle, but because there's a formation in this competition that greatly restricts those who are over 50 years old. You should understand what I mean, right? If he agrees, then there's no problem. Otherwise, forgive me for not being able to comply. Thank you for your understanding, Fellow Yi. With that, Bu Zhangqing took out many supreme-grade spirit stones and a brocade box. In this brocade box is a golden pill refined by a high-level alchemist in the city governor's mansion. One golden pill is equivalent to 100 supreme-grade spirit stones. Therefore, Fellow Yi and your friend must slowly refine it. Don't swallow it directly. All right. Yi Chen agreed coldly and took the brocade box. Then, I'll take my leave. With that, Bu Zhangqing left. Yi Chen reached out and touched the brocade box. Instantly, waves of powerful spiritual energy surged wildly, as if it was going to break through the pill's limit and soar to the heavens. It's powerful indeed. A pill of such strength must require a high-level alchemist. It seemed like the city governor's mansion also had an expert. It's just that the technique is a little crude. Following that, Yi Chen smirked and took out the golden pill. Immortal drift bottle. With the full moon in the sky, it was the best time to use the immortal drift bottle. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. The immortal drift bottle flew into the air. Instantly, under the light of the full moon, the immortal drift bottle emitted a rainbow light. Go! Yi Chen tossed the golden pill into the immortal drift bottle. With a flash of light, the golden pill appeared again in an instant. A golden pill without any impurities is 100 times easier to absorb. Chapter 1896. 7 days later, the devil-slaying competition began. The city lord's mansion provided the ground in the core area of Great Might City, and the general's mansion was in charge of it. It was like a coliseum, where many demonic beasts and demons were imprisoned. They were officially the targets of the devil-slaying competition. Everyone, the purpose of this devil-slaying competition is to select talents for the Imperial City. We will select experts from the small border cities around Great Might City to participate in the devil-slaying competition. This is also to show that we treat talents equally. General He Ding personally spoke on the platform. Beside him were the City Lord's mansion Bu Chongqing and the Imperial City's envoy. Roar! Suddenly, angry roars of demonic beasts came from below. These demonic beasts had been starving for more than 10 days in order to strengthen their wildness and burst out with greater combat power to increase the difficulty of the challenge. Looks like the demonic beasts can't resist their hunger anymore. Everyone, get ready! He Ding returned to his seat after he finished speaking. An old man from the city lord's mansion stepped forward to preside over the meeting. Challengers, please enter the arena. Following his voice, the challenger teams entered the arena. They were the city lord's mansion, the general's mansion, and the martial pavilion. Each force had 3 teams of 3 people. The first challenger team is the first team of the martial pavilion. Great, great! Hearing that a team was about to enter the arena, countless experts cheered. The devil-slaying competition was a special mission given by the Imperial City this year, and its importance was self-evident. The people of the martial pavilion were all strong and looked like hunters, which made them suitable for fighting against demonic beasts. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh! The 3 of them flew into the Colosseum. In front of each of them was a stone path, and at the end of the stone path was a passage for cages, which imprisoned violent demonic beasts. Open the cages. Following the old man's order, the guards below opened the cages. Roar! Immediately, the roars of demonic beasts came from 3 directions. They were too hungry, and all of them were body integration realm experts. Human bastards, let me out! The body integration realm demonic beasts had developed intelligence and could speak. Facing the 3 violent demonic beasts, the 3 experts of the martial pavilion nodded at each other and prepared to fight. Kacha, kacha, kacha! With 3 crisp sounds, the formation chains imprisoning the 3 demonic beasts were opened. Dong, dong, dong! The 3 demonic beasts charged towards the 3 of them as if they had gone mad. They wanted to devour human blood. Roar! The roar shook the sky, and the stench of blood assaulted them. The 3 powerhouses of the martial pavilion revealed serious expressions. Yi Chen and the other 2 stood below the prison, waiting to fight. Ancestor, how do you feel? As expected, this arena has severely suppressed my cultivation. The old ancestor said. Yes. Yi Chen nodded. It was just as Bu Zhongqing had said. It seemed like the Spirit Emperor's age restriction was true. However, Yi Chen still did not understand the purpose behind this. Ancestor, you should go up and take a look. Then I won't stand on ceremony. I wish the 2 of you all the best. After saying that, the old ancestor flew to the high platform. Yi Chen's eyes were sharp as he looked at the center of the arena. The three demonic beasts had already surrounded the three people from the martial pavilion. Although the expressions of the three of them did not change, their auras were already suppressed. Master, it looks like the three of them are going to be devoured by the demonic beast. Looks like Great Might City is not our final destination. Yi Chen's eyes were sharp as he looked at the high platform where the envoy from the Imperial City was sitting. At a glance, Yi Chen noticed that the envoy was surrounded by a layer of strange runes. It was extremely difficult to see through their cultivation base. The Spirit Realm's Imperial City, the Spirit Emperor. Through Bu Zhangqing, Yi Chen already knew that the most powerful person in the Spirit Realm was the Spirit Emperor. Roar. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. In the blink of an eye, painful roars could be heard. The three people from the martial pavilion had already become food for the demonic beast. Although their cultivation base was also at the fusion stage, compared to the demonic beasts of the same level that had been starved for more than 10 days, they were no match for them in terms of wildness or strength. Sigh. The martial pavilion master revealed a disappointed look. He did not expect the first team to be so weak. This made him very embarrassed. The first team of the martial pavilion has failed. The old man announced the result. On the high platform, the envoy from the Imperial City looked displeased. The first team had failed too quickly and miserably, making him suspicious of the teams below. Lord Envoy, don't worry. This is only the first team of the martial pavilion. There's still our general's residence. He Ding said with a smile. I hope the general's residence won't let me down. Of course. Hearing this, He Ding was very happy. Now, he only wanted the people from the city lord's residence and the martial pavilion to die in the mouths of the demonic beast. Roar. The demonic beasts below roared crazily, constantly tearing at the corpses of the three people from the martial pavilion. It was a tragic sight. Evil beast, how dare you! The people from the martial pavilion could not bear such humiliation. The second team stepped out. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The movement techniques of these three people were obviously much stronger than the other three. They each released a dart, aiming at the eyes of the three demonic beasts. Swoosh! Soon, the eyes of a demonic beast were hit by the dart, bleeding profusely on the spot. Roar! The demonic beast bared its teeth in anger. How dare you pull teeth from a tiger's mouth? Die! The demonic beast turned to look at the three people and rushed over in a frenzy. The blood fueled its bestial nature, and the desire to devour increased its strength by several times. Dong, dong, dong. The ground shook and the rocks cracked. The demonic beast was a black-furred saber-toothed tiger. Let's attack together. The three fusion stage cultivators looked at each other and took out their weapons. Roar! The demonic beast attacked furiously. It did not care who was its opponent and suppressed them in all aspects. Meanwhile, the two demonic beasts at the side, after devouring the flesh and blood of the people from the martial pavilion, had a murderous gleam in their eyes. They opened their claws and had recovered a lot of vitality. The feast of massacre has begun. The corners of the demonic beast's mouth curled up slightly. Its cold, snow-white teeth glowed with blood. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Just as everyone was exclaiming, the three demonic beasts attacked together and crushed the three cultivators. Sharp claws slashed across and blood gushed out like a fountain. Ah! The screams of the human cultivators were chilling. They actually know territory power. Yi Chen saw the truth from the demonic beasts' quick movement. They were using territory power. These demonic beasts were very powerful. Attack together, don't wait. The people from the martial pavilion shouted at the team above. When the people above saw this scene, they were put in a difficult position. They originally wanted to fight these three demonic beasts alone, but now, just as they were hesitating, the martial pavilion master gave them a look, and the three of them could only attack. Seeing this, the imperial city envoy looked displeased again. Chapter 1897. Release. Just as the powerhouses of the martial pavilion were about to attack, He Ding suddenly issued an order. Yes. The old man nodded slightly and revealed a strange smile. Then, the prison below suddenly opened again. Roar! Suddenly, the roars shook the sky and even crazier magical beasts were released. Ah! This! The people of the martial pavilion were instantly stunned. They did not expect that they had more people, but so did the number of magical beasts. Moreover, these magical beasts were far more powerful than them. Run! In the end, they could not care less about their dignity, and could only run for their lives. Seeing this scene, the master of the martial pavilion was stunned. These powerhouses actually wanted to run. Wasn't this a joke? Ah! Sure enough, many spectators began to laugh, especially those from the general's residence. It was obvious that the martial pavilion had been defeated. They had no chance. Trash! Suddenly, the imperial city envoy stood up with murderous intent in his eyes. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Then, several beams of red light flashed and flew across the beast-fighting coliseum. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Then, the 6 powerhouses of the martial pavilion fell to the ground one after another. Blood flowed continuously from their throats, and they died on the spot. Seeing this scene, everyone fell silent. The imperial city envoy was enraged and blood flowed for hundreds of feet, but no one dared to move. Sir Envoy, please calm down. General He Ding hurriedly stood up and saluted. Humph, Great Might City is really a city of trash. The people of the martial pavilion are indeed trash, but the people from the general's residence will not let you down. I hope so. If you do not give me a satisfactory result today, it will be a waste of my time. You know the consequences. Understood. He Ding's back was cold and he was sweating profusely. He had heard of the imperial city envoy's swift and decisive nature, but he had never seen it for himself. Today, he finally saw it for himself. The master of the martial pavilion slumped on his seat and almost fainted. He did not expect these trash to not only fail to bring glory to the martial pavilion, but also anger the imperial city envoy. How could he bear such a sin? The martial pavilion was doomed in the future. Begin the next round immediately, the envoy said coldly. All right. Just as the great general was prepared to let his strong martial artist take the field, he suddenly thought of a problem. The 6 magical beasts below were biting and devouring the flesh and blood in a frenzy. Just now, he was only concerned about embarrassing the martial pavilion, but he had forgotten that now that the ferocious beasts had appeared at the same time, even his general's residence would find it hard to defend against them. What do you think? The imperial envoy was clearly impatient as he stared coldly at He Ding. He Ding was gloomy. Could it be that he could only brace himself and go forward? Yi Chen had noticed He Ding's problem since the beginning. He scoffed to himself. Looks like this kid doesn't dare to let his team take the field. The patriarch laughed. Since that's the case, let's go. All right. It seemed like he had been holding it in for too long. It was time to show it. The two of them stood up and walked towards the arena. Fellow Yi, what are you doing? Bu Zhangqing asked in surprise when he saw the two of them walking out. Yi Chen glared at him coldly and proceeded forward. No, you can't. Bu Changqing stepped forward and stopped them. He seemed very nervous. In this situation, 6 demonic beasts have appeared at the same time. How are the two of you going to deal with them? Do you want my team to be annihilated? Bu Changqing looked at the other teams as he spoke. As expected, the other 2 teams did not dare to enter the arena. Only Yi Chen and Yi Wuxuang wanted to go. We'll naturally succeed if we enter the arena. Why stop us? Yi Chen's aura was overbearing. Even Bu Changqing felt waves of pressure as he trembled all over. However, for the benefit of the city governor's mansion, he had to speak his mind. 6 integration stage demonic beasts. You're sending them to their deaths, fellow Yi. What a joke. Since you don't believe us, why did you invite us? After saying that, Yi Chen walked into the arena with Yi Wushuang. To this, Bu Chongqing was speechless. He did not expect Yi Chen to be so arrogant. He did not listen to him at all. At that moment, He Ding smiled lightly when he saw Yi Chen and Yi Wushuang walking into the arena. Master Envoy, look. Oh! The Imperial Envoy looked at the arena and realized that Yi Chen and Yi Wushuang were taking the initiative to enter. Interesting. He was immediately interested. Master Envoy, let them enter? You're the host of this competition. You decide. Thank you, Master. He Ding was overjoyed. Initially, he wanted to see his team die at the hands of these 6 demonic beasts. Now, someone was going to die for his team. He would let Yi Chen and the rest enter the arena even if he had to do it 100 times. All teams of the city governor's mansion can enter. He announced it personally. When everyone heard that, they understood what he meant and felt worried for the city governor's mansion. 6 integration stage demonic beasts. Won't the city governor's mansion be annihilated? This general is really scheming. As long as the city governor's mansion's team is annihilated, the general's mansion will definitely win. He wanted his team to take all the spots. How cunning. Everyone despised He Ding's behavior, but they were puzzled when they saw Yi Chen and Yi Wushuang taking the initiative to attack. Yi Chen and Yi Wushuang walked into the arena. Facing 6 integration stage demonic beasts at the same time was a hopeless situation in everyone's eyes. They had no chance of winning, and it was no different from suicide. Sigh, Bu Chongqing's forehead was covered in sweat. He was thinking quickly about what to do. Seeing Yi Chen and Yi Wushuang die in the arena, the city governor's mansion would be finished as well. Since that was the case, he might as well fight and see the result. All of you, attack! He shouted at the other 2 teams. The other 2 teams revealed a look of horror. They did not expect Bu Chongqing to go crazy as well when that brat went crazy. Master City Governor, how are we going to deal with 6 integration stage demonic beasts? Aren't we going to die? Bu Chongqing was enraged when he saw how afraid the 2 teams were of death. Yi Chen and Yi Wushuang took the initiative to attack while you guys are cowering. What is this? You guys are powerhouses from the spirit realm while Yi Chen and Yi Wushuang are from the spirit realm. Don't you have any shame? The 6 of them lowered their heads at the same time. Naturally, what Bu Chongqing said made sense. If the people from the spirit realm could not even compare to spirit realm cultivators, why would they participate in the beast battle? Yes. They accepted the order and jumped into the arena at the same time. Yi Chen shook his head slightly when he saw the other 6 people entering the arena. Not only would these 6 people not be of help, but they might even have the opposite effect and hinder them. Roar! The 6 demonic beasts went crazy when they saw the crowd enter. They were not full yet. Sigh, these 2 spirit realm cultivators are really going to get us killed. I say, you 2, get out of my way. Don't get in the way of us slaying demons. Yi Chen's eyes turned cold when he heard that. Chapter 1898. What? You still want to attack us? Ha ha, 2 pieces of trash actually want to be the main force. You really don't know shame. If you're from the spirit realm, then just hide in the back and watch. Why are you still pretending to be a big shot? The 6 combatants clearly looked at Yi Chen and his companion with disdain and distrust. They could not believe that Yi Chen, who was only at the void refinement stage, could fight against a high-level conjoint stage magical beast. I don't mind killing a few of you first to make the world peaceful again. Yi Chen suddenly said coldly when the 6 of them were walking toward the magical beast. What? You're courting death? Bastard! The 6 of them were furious. They turned around and glared at Yi Chen. What are you doing? When Bu Chongqing saw this, he angrily rebuked the 6 people. Although the 6 of them were furious, Bu Zhangqing was watching. It would not be good for them to attack Yi Chen all of a sudden, so they could only deal with the magical beast first. Roar. At this moment, the 6 magical beasts were constantly roaring at the 2, as if they could attack at any time. The 3 of us will form the formation. The 3 of you will enter because of them. Good idea. After coming up with a strategy, the 6 of them began to move. Meanwhile, Yi Chen and Wu Shuang stood far away and watched them. Such an idiot deserves to die. Yi Chen mumbled to himself. The crowd mocked Yi Chen when they saw that the duo was not moving. People of the spirit realm are useless after all. Look, they don't even dare to move. What capabilities does a void refinement cultivator have, let alone someone from the spirit realm? Trash. Bu Changqing admits defeat this time. When Bu Zhangqing heard everyone's words, he felt even more depressed. Did the person I sent really make a mistake? He recalled the introduction that the number 1 and number 2 messengers had given him. They had said that Yi Chen was amazing. Now, it seemed like there was nothing special about him at all. He was even afraid of death. But now that things had come to this, he could only hope that the 6 of them could kill the magical beasts and regain face for the city lord's mansion. Roar. Within the bestial arena, the demonic beasts roared angrily once again. Blood rained down around them as waves of demonic energy suppressed the space around them. Not good, they're releasing their demonic domain. We can't follow in the footsteps of the martial pavilion. I'll destroy it. These 6 people were also experts of the spirit world, and they were not to be trifled with. Kill. One of them wielded a dagger and flew up to provoke the demonic beast. Kaki. One of the magical beasts laughed coldly. What are you laughing at? The dagger-wielding cultivator asked. I'm laughing at you for being such an idiot. You sure are quick to court death. The cultivator flew into a rage and threw his dagger straight at the demonic beast. Kill. The magical beast gave an order to the 2 magical beasts beside him. He didn't expect that the 2 magical beasts would actually listen to his orders. Whoosh whoosh. 2 black shadows constantly flickered. The 2 magical beasts on the side were obviously more agile, and their speed was extremely fast. No. The cultivator immediately sensed danger approaching him, but by the time he reacted, his body had already been torn apart by the claws of the 2 demonic beasts. Chi-chi. 2 sharp claws slashed across. Inside the domain, the cultivator's body and spirit had long been controlled by the demonic beasts. It was just that he hadn't realized it yet. Yi Chen was not surprised to see that because these pieces of trash were too weak to sense danger. It was inevitable that they would die. Ha ha ha, I didn't expect those 2 brats to be so patient. Seeing that the city governor's mansion's team had lost a powerhouse, General He Ding was very happy. He was even happier when he saw that Yi Chen and Wu Shuang had no intention of doing anything. The same went for the spectators below. They all thought that Yi Chen and Wu Shuang were afraid and did not dare to attack. It seems like the city governor's mansion has no hope at all. After those 6 people die in the hands of the demonic beasts, the 2 pieces of trash behind them will probably be annihilated. Needless to say, those at the spirit state have the lowest cultivation base. There's no way they can survive. I wonder what they're so arrogant about. They don't have any ability and they're just pretending? The crowd revealed a look of disdain at Yi Chen and Wu Shuang again. At this moment, on the battlefield, 3 people were still busy setting up the formation. There were only 2 cultivators left to lure the demonic beasts into the formation. You 2, hurry up! This! The 2 did not want to attack at first, but as powerhouses, they naturally understood that if they did not lure the demonic beasts into the formation as soon as possible, they would all die here. Kill! The 2 shouted and charged at the demonic beasts at the same time. Go! The leading demonic beast sat at the back, watching everything before it coldly. Subsequently, it clenched its sharp claws suddenly. Immediately, A powerful demonic energy attracted the powerhouse who had been dismembered. Swoosh! Crack! Under everyone's watchful eyes, it directly tore the powerhouse's body into pieces and devoured it. The crowd was shocked to see that. The demonic beasts were indeed extremely brutal. Hurry up and attack! The people at the back had already finished setting up the formation and shouted to the people in front. The people in front attacked one after another and then ran to the back. Thud, thud, thud! The demonic beasts at the back did not care about the formation in front at all and pounced at the two of them. At the same time, the leading demonic beast's eyes emitted a cold gleam. It was ready to kill. Activate the formation! Seeing that the two demonic beasts in front of them had entered the range of the formation, the three people at the back channeled their spiritual power at the same time and activated the formation. Rumble! When the formation was activated, a layer of light surrounded the two demonic beasts. Roar! No matter how the demonic beasts struggled, they could not get out of the formation. Ha ha ha! The three of them laughed. As expected, these beasts were still too stupid. They could be trapped easily. Kill! Just as one of them shouted and wanted to kill the monster in the formation, he could only say one word before he could no longer speak because the sharp claws had already pierced his throat. Kill? What? The leading demonic beast revealed its sharp teeth and asked with a sneer. Thud! The powerhouse was thrown to the ground like a dead dog. Swoosh! With a wave of its sharp claws, the formation was instantly shattered. The other powerhouses revealed a look of horror. Only now did they realize that the difference in strength between them and the demonic beasts in front of them was like heaven and earth. Cluck, cluck, cluck! The leading demonic beast bared its sharp teeth at them and smiled strangely. Spare us, spare us! Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh! Just as they were kneeling on the ground and begging for mercy, the leading demonic beast moved in a flash. In a flash, the rest of them fell to the ground and their heads rolled off. It took a deep breath and spat out a mouthful of blood. It turned around and bared its bloody teeth at Yi Chen and the other person. Cluck, cluck, cluck! How would these idiots know that the two of you are the powerhouses? I'll give you a quick death if the two of you can satisfy me. The leading demonic beast said to Yi Chen in the coldest voice. Is it worth being so proud of killing a few mongrels? Yi Chen lifted his head slowly. There was a cold gleam in his eyes as he stared at the leading demonic beast. End of this chapter. Chapter 1899. What? 6 spiritual realm powerhouses were killed in an instant? Everyone stared at the arena with their eyes wide open. Although many people thought that the people from the city governor's residence were not powerful, they were spiritual realm powerhouses after all. They were hired by the city governor's residence to fight demonic beasts, but the demonic beasts this time aren't ordinary. 6 demonic beasts appeared at the same time. It's getting out of hand. Sigh, collect the bodies of the two below. The only thing we can do now is to wait for the 3 teams from the general's residence. Everyone shook their heads, thinking that Yi Chen and Yi Wushuang would definitely die. They were waiting for the powerhouses from the general's residence to clean up this mess. He Ding was very proud of himself. Sir Envoy, I'll get the people from the general's residence to deal with these demonic beasts soon. I'm sure they'll satisfy you. There's no rush. Aren't there 2 more down there? Huh! He Ding was stunned. He did not understand why the Imperial City Envoy would care so much about those 2. What was the use of void training stage guests from the spirit realm? However, it was the Imperial City Envoy's intention after all. Naturally, he would not deny it. Yes. He Ding nodded and shouted, hurry up and die. Don't waste my time. Yi Chen squinted and looked at the high platform. He realized that it was He Ding who was boasting shamelessly. Whoosh! Suddenly, Yi Chen's eyes released the Samadhi True Fire and charged at He Ding. He Ding did not expect that and retreated immediately. However, He did not expect the Samadhi true fire to chase after him as if it had a life of its own. Damn it! He shouted and circulated the spiritual energy in his body before throwing a punch. Rumble! The Samadhi true fire and He Ding's fist collided. Subsequently, the fist ray dissipated, but the flame energy was still burning, continuing to attack He Ding. To this, He Ding turned pale with fright. How could he have imagined that these 3 tiny balls of true fire contained the power of an ancient god? They grew and multiplied endlessly. How could he possibly destroy them? At that moment, the Imperial City envoy revealed a smile. He did not expect the real powerhouse to be an outsider. Extinguish. After all, the general's residence was the host. He was embarrassed to be fooled like that. The envoy waved his hand and the Samadhi true fire was extinguished. Although the flame had been extinguished, He Ding still had lingering fear in his heart. He got up immediately and looked at Yi Chen and Yi Wuxuang below. The flame energy clearly came from below. He wanted to know who exactly it was. Who started the fire? Me. His reply shook the heavens, and an ice-cold wind assaulted He Ding. Ah? He Ding retreated once more, a chill running down his spine. The killing intent in that aura was too obvious. You. He still wanted to act up, but the messenger behind him gave him a look, and he didn't dare to move. Fight now. He Ding endured the fear in his heart and shouted. Kaki. Seeing this scene, the leader of the demonic beasts suddenly laughed. Who would have thought that you could actually make great General He Ding so frightened? His frightened look is too good to look at. I really want to admire it again, he. The words of the demonic beast leader made He Ding feel ashamed. As the great general, he was also at the peak of the body integration realm. Yet, he was actually humiliated by a foreign guest at the void refinement realm. You talk too much nonsense. I'll only complete my mission after I get rid of you. Yi Chen's lips curled up slightly as he looked at the leader of the demonic beasts. The eyebrows of the leader of the demonic beasts furrowed, and he glared at Yi Chen. Previously, he didn't care about the void refinement realm cultivator before him. However, when he saw that Yi Chen could intimidate the peak of the body integration realm, He Ding, and displayed such domineering confidence, he knew that he might have to be more serious. In his opinion, as long as he could defeat Yi Chen and take the initiative to lose to He Ding's team, he would have a chance to leave. This was the agreement he had with He Ding. He kill. The leader of the demonic beasts waved his sharp claws, and the other 5 demonic beasts attacked one after another, surrounding Yi Chen and Wuxuang. Roar. The 5 demonic beasts kept roaring. They were all powerhouses at the body integration realm, and they had absolute confidence against the 2 people at the void refinement realm. Devour them. Yes, devour these 2 human bastards. Devour. The demonic beasts kept cursing. Evil creatures, how dare you go against the heavens? Yi Chen glared angrily, and the ancient god energy swept across the area. A supreme majesty shocked the 5 body integration realm demonic beasts. What's going on? Do you guys feel that power that makes your hearts tremble? This. Impossible. The demonic beasts sensed Yi Chen's heavenly emperor's might at the same time. The might came from his bones. Ever since he had cultivated the ancient god power, Yi Chen's aura was getting stronger. He was regaining his dominance back then. Damn it, devour him! The 5 demonic beasts were shocked by Yi Chen. They were confused and furious. They charged at him together, wanting to devour him. Don't even think about it. Before Yi Chen could attack, Yi Wuxuang's sword qi had already attacked. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The sword qi was extremely sharp, and the demonic beasts that were charging stopped instantly. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The 5 demonic beasts bared their sharp teeth at Yi Wuxuang at the same time. Evil creature, how dare you disrespect master? Die. A long sword appeared in Yi Wuxuang's hand. It was extremely cold and arrogant. The 5 demonic beasts took a good look at Yi Wuxuang at the same time and revealed cold smiles. This brat's meat must be delicious. Of course it's delicious. I can smell it. Kill him. The demonic beasts revealed greedy expressions as they walked toward Yi Wuxuang at the same time. What an arrogant brat. He's doomed this time. Look at his master and you can tell this brat's character. He's seeking death. I really don't know what he's thinking. Isn't it better to surrender and leave this to the general's residence? The people discussed. Nobody thought that Yi Chen and Yi Wuxuang would win. Go to hell. He Ding mumbled to himself. Meanwhile, the city governor, Bu Chongqing, was shaking his head. All 6 of them had died earlier. Could the 2 of them really do it? He had long lost trust in the messengers that he had sent out to search for powerhouses. Therefore, it was only natural that he could not trust Yi Chen and Yi Wuxuang's abilities. Thud, thud, thud. All of a sudden, the demonic beasts began running madly. They were extremely fast as they charged at Yi Wuxuang. Wuxuang, remember that inspiration? Yes, master. What Yi Chen said seemed like an illusion, but Yi Wuxuang understood the logic behind it. The sword qi flowed through his body, and the sword spirit appeared again. Heavenly Emperor Sword, Universal Slash. Yi Wuxuang flew into the sky as the Heavenly Emperor Sword spirit appeared behind him. The majestic aura was like that of a god. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Subsequently, the sword qi came on its own. It contained the Heavenly Emperor Sword intent. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It was just a sword, but it sliced through the air and went straight for the demonic beast's sharp claws. Blood splattered, and the power of the sword shocked everywhere. End of this chapter. Chapter 1900. Roar. The demonic beasts roared. The demonic beasts that were injured by the Heavenly Emperor's sword intent felt the sword qi entering their bodies and lingering for a long time. The pain that followed was the most difficult to deal with. Huh! Everyone was shocked. They had thought that this brat was dead for sure. However, at this moment, they did not know why they were surprised when they saw the demonic beasts roaring in pain. Although they were from the spirit realm, there were differences in ability. Great Might City's level was not high enough, and the spectators here were just ordinary people. The demonic beast leader glared at Yi Wuxuang coldly when he saw that. He could see an extremely sharp and majestic sword intent on Yi Wuxuang's body. The sword intent was so profound that even the demonic beast leader felt intimidated. How is this possible? Who exactly is this person? He activated his spirit eye to observe Wuxuang. He kept seeing waves of sword qi surrounding him. The sword qi was hidden and powerful, which confused him. Kill him! The demonic beast leader shouted angrily at the demonic beasts in front of him who had stopped. Yes. The demonic beasts also felt insulted. The person before them clearly did not have a high cultivation base. How could he hurt their bodies? It did not make sense. They wanted revenge. Thud, thud, thud. The demonic beast's footsteps were heard again. The ground shook and the powerful aura was chilling. This is what I've been waiting for. Yi Chen sneered in his heart. The demonic beast's attention was all on Yi Wuxuang while he was already preparing a fatal attack. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. A whirlwind surrounded Yi Chen. It was the sword qi condensed from ancient god power. Something's wrong. Stop. Suddenly, the demonic beast leader realized that something was wrong and immediately gave the order. However, the demonic beasts had already moved quickly. Naturally, they could not stop at such a high speed. Moreover, they were already enraged by Yi Wuxuang. They could not care less. They just wanted to devour the person in front of them. Roar. Kill! The demonic beasts roared while Wuxuang shouted to kill. At that moment, both sides did not give way. The ultimate attack was right before them. That's it. Yi Chen's eyes suddenly emitted an extremely cold gleam. The ancient god's sword qi condensed to its limit behind him. Whoosh! His figure flew up instantly. With a wave of his sword finger, the sword chi split into 5. So. The sword chi turned into flowing light, carrying a cold, killing intent, and instantly locked onto the vital parts of the 5 demonic beasts. Ah! At the juncture of life and death, the 5 demonic beasts also sensed the arrival of the killing intent. Roar! They released their strongest powers and condensed a protective barrier to protect their lives. Hoo! Powerful demonic energy soared into the sky as the 5 demonic beasts combined their powers to create a powerful barrier. At this moment, the spectators outside still didn't know what had happened. They were all questioning the behavior of the magical beast. What's going on with this magical beast? It was about to devour that brat, but it stopped? Not only did they stop, but they are also building some protective energy shield together. What are they doing? They're both body integration stage devilish beasts, so it'll be a piece of cake for them to deal with those two. In the midst of everyone's confusion, 3 streaks of light pierced through the void. Zzz. With a burst of energy fluctuations, the 3 figures disappeared from the void. What do you mean? Just as the 3 streaks of light pierced the protective barrier created by the 5 demonic beasts, the entire world seemed to freeze. This was the sign of the ancient god force activating. Chi. The flowing sword chi pierced through the ancient god stage and accurately struck the 5 demonic beasts' throats. Everything stopped. The roars of the demonic beasts, their movements, and even their breaths all stopped. The leader of the demonic beasts stared at everything in front of him with widened eyes. It was his first time seeing such a high-level sword chi. Are you really at the void refinement stage? He asked Yi Chen with a trembling voice. Full void refinement stage. Yi Chen responded coldly. That's impossible. Just as the leader of the demonic beasts roared, the 5 demonic beasts in front of him seemed to be released from the ice, but what awaited them was them falling to the ground. Dong. With a heavy thud, none of the 5 demonic beasts were spared, dying on the spot. A void refinement stage cultivator killing a body integration stage demonic beast in seconds. In an instant, this unbelievable information entered everyone's mind. They were stunned, unable to accept what they had seen and heard. It's your turn. These simple words were like a curse from the Grim Reaper, causing the leader of the demonic beasts to keep retreating. He trembled as he looked at Yi Chen, who was slowly walking over. The fear in the bottom of his heart radiated from his eyes. The look in his eyes said everything. What do you mean? Look, the most powerful high-level conjoint stage demonic beast is retreating. He's only facing a void refinement stage guest. Why? It's as if he's seeing the Grim Reaper. His eyes are filled with despair. Everyone was dumbfounded again. How could a void refinement stage guest force a high-level conjoint stage demonic beast to retreat? Even a master at the full success conjoint stage could not do this, right? At this moment, everyone began to think. Was it because Yi Chen was very powerful and he was hiding his strength? They shook their heads. They could not believe this conclusion. What's going on? He gnashed his teeth in hatred. Originally, he wanted to rely on this performance to rise up. As long as his team won and received the recommendation of the envoy of the Imperial City, he would be able to obtain a lot of glory. In fact, if his team made a contribution in the competition against the Demon Realm, he might even be summoned by the Spirit Emperor. How glorious would that be? However, all of this was destroyed by one person, and it was Yi Chen. This is impossible. He must have cheated. He grumbled. What cheated? Bu Zhangqing, who was so frustrated that he fell to the ground with his eyes closed, waiting for the result of his failure, suddenly became energetic when he heard He Ding's words. He jumped up and looked at the Colosseum. He realized that Yi Chen was not dead. Not only that, but he was also forcing the most powerful demonic beast to retreat. Is this real? I'm not dreaming, am I? Bu Zhangqing rubbed his eyes. Subsequently, he He laughed out loud. Ha ha ha, I didn't expect those two idiot envoys to bring me a god. Never in his wildest dreams would he have thought that the guest in front of him was the key to his rise. At this moment, in the Colosseum, the great demonic beast was forced to the wall. There was no way out. At this moment, the great demonic beast was no longer as arrogant as before. Instead, he was a yes-man because he knew that the person before him was too powerful. He could not afford to offend him at all. That kind of majestic suppression made him feel like he was facing a supreme celestial emperor.